former University City Elementary School building into office space. St. Louis-based Third Man Development is planning on converting the former Del Mar Harvard School at 717 Kingsland Avenue into the Harvard office lofts. Third Man is looking to lease the 24,000 square feet of office space to a single tenant. 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Time now is 6:05. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Yeah, wait till that poor guy goes to City Hall to get the permits. He wants to redevelop. No. We would prefer a dump.
Oh.
Yes. All right. Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, McGraw.
You know, people in Athens rarely get up before sunrise.
Is that right? Why is that?
Dawn is tough on Greece.
It's a historical joke there. You got to know. You have to know Dawn dishwashing soap. You have to know Athens is in Greece.
I bought some yesterday.
Some Athens or Greece or Dawn?
Dawn.
You know, French fries weren't made in France.
Is that right?
They were from Greece.
Could have gone any number of ways, that Greece joke.
Greece.
All right. Can we just take a moment and just acknowledge that it's so hot outside that it's like it's 40 below and you just don't go outside?
Right.
Yeah, because I did not. It's horrifying. And my this is the first time this year that my things didn't stop cycling. What do you call it? The air conditioning.
The air conditioning.
It could not.
It
was 81. It could not. This thing was set at 79, and this poor thing was like all day long. And this morning, as I'm getting ready, knowing at 3:00 in the morning, it's still going strong. I was like,
yesterday I went outside to take the dog out, and the front door was just filled with wet. It was all the steam and all the condensation on the windows.
Did your glasses fog up immediately?
I just opened the door. I let the dog out. I stayed inside.
We went to Ted Drew's yesterday.
Yeah.
My wife gets the fudgy McGraw.
God love her.
For the National Hot Fudge Day.
Oh.
And people were getting out of Ted Drew's, getting their Ted Drew's, and then running back to their cars.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like it's 40 below. It's crazy.
Ugh.
And today it's going to be worse, huh?
Ugh, yeah, we're still under a heat advisory. Fun until 7 this evening. But tomorrow it's supposed to be gross too. Why is it?
Ain't too proud at the Muni starts tonight. But the fans are great, and it goes after dark, so it cools down.
It does, believe it or not, cool down once the sun goes down.
When you opened the door this morning, Carl, but
only at the Muni. Only at the Muni.
Only at the Muni.
Everywhere else, if you open your door at your house and it said, no, just think the Muni, they got some special compensation.
And they have the fans.
It's like 85 and balmy at the Muni.
No.
That's why the Muni doesn't start till 8:00.
There you go. All right. Coming up on the show today, Karen Travers is going to be joining us. President Trump mulling over some Iranian options, all in, or he paused the bombing over the weekends. We're going to do that with Karen Travers at 6:20. Jim Ryan's got the border is now reopened to cattle. Cattle are now allowed. We're going to start importing some beef from Mexico because beef prices are through the roof here in the United States. Jim Ryan's got that story. Stephen Roberts is going to be joining us. 100 days to go before the midterms. Stephen Roberts is going to talk politics. Peter Harlambous have some court rulings that is stopping President Trump from restricting mail-in balloting. Randy Carricker is going to join us to talk about a tough weekend for the Cardinals, as well as now they're saying that the SEC, the conference that has the Missouri Tigers in it, just might go it alone. Just might leave the NCAA and just do their own thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was rumored, but at the SEC days, their preseason convention, they were very open about saying, yeah, it's a real possibility. We just might leave the NCAA.
That's probably going to happen probably more often, don't you think? Would everybody just secede from the
I don't know
NCAA
if everybody would, but the SEC is like, it's our ball and we're the biggest and the baddest and we can go home. Maybe the Big Ten can go.
What's SEC stand for?
Southeastern Conference.
So is the OVC still a thing and the Pac-10 and all that?
Pac-10 doesn't exist anymore. Or it might in some way. I mean, actually the Pac-10, I don't know if it broke up. Whatever the teams were, they don't exist anymore.
Is the Ohio Valley Conference?
Ohio Valley Conference might exist. The Big 12 is, completely wholesale changes in the Big 12. The Big 10's got, 18 teams in it?
What would happen if the NCAA just folded completely?
Well, we're about to find out.
So the Pac-10 is actually called the Pac-12 now with 9 teams.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
sure. Makes sense.
The farthest eastern team in the Pac, which would be the Pacific, is Texas State.
Texas State. Well, the Big 12 goes from C to signing she. See, it goes from UCLA to Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from the West Coast to the East Coast. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah. And the SEC is Missouri the farthest team west?
Let's see here.
Arkansas, maybe?
Yeah, because Murray was, we were
Texas.
We were the OVC.
Texas,
yeah.
Texas, okay. I mean, it's
yeah,
comparable.
so SEC is
College,
SEMO and all that. That's
A&M and Austin are both in it.
Yeah. SEMO is different. Whatever they are, they're not the SEC.
Oh.
All right. So that's the plan for today. All right. Anything else going on? No.
Hey, so if I say the name Alan Freed.
Oh yeah, he was the DJ who died the day the music died, and right?
He died that day?
I think he was on the plane, wasn't he?
No. He just drank himself to death.
Oh, then he was the guy who Payola Polola.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he coined the term rock and roll.
Right. Yeah.
I'm fascinated. Like I was wondering, I didn't realize he was.
I thought there was a DJ on the day the music died. I thought there was a DJ on that as well. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it was the Big Bopper. It was
Richie Valens.
Richie Valens, Buddy Holly.
Right.
The Pilot.
Right.
It was supposed to be Waylon Jennings.
And Waylon Jennings.
I think the Big Bopper was
okay.
That's who you might JP
Okay.
Richardson,
All
right? JP St. Right? Yeah,
Big
I think
Bopper.
that's who
All
you're
right. Okay.
possibly. But anyway, I had no idea he was so involved, like one of the first rock and roll.
Yeah, they paid him and then he played the songs.
Well, and then not realizing that that could have had such a huge, like Elvis or something. Like maybe Elvis wouldn't have been so big if he didn't get as much radio play. Like
Right.
my mind was blown. I'm listening to this podcast and I was like, it didn't even occur to me that like some of these tunes or these artists became so popular because they greased the hands of the jocks and just that's all the only way the music got out.
Yeah. It's an interesting debate argument over what is payola plugola.
Dick Clark was involved big time.
Yeah.
I pay you money. You tell me how great the window store is, but the window store pays you, and I just go on the air, right? I mean, so they cut out the radio station, and all of a sudden that's illegal.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a very strange.
Now, and is plugola where they get like the window store gives you windows, or is that?
Yeah, I think that's the plug is where I'll plug it and you give me something, or you pay me and I'll give you something.
But this was like straight up, like I'm not going to play your song unless you pay me more. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, mind blown. I don't know. I was like,
Alan Freed got a songwriting credit on Chuck Berry's Maybelline, which he did not write.
Right. Some of these jocks got songwriting credits so they could get royalty. Like it was fascinating.
Yeah, I bet. It's actually a pretty good story, a pretty interesting story.
It's very interesting. And just how and rock and roll was more, obviously the devil's music at the time too, but like it was black music. Like they referred to it as, like R&B and all that, like rock and I don't know. It was just, it was so interesting.
Well, yeah. I bet. Yeah. It's a whole world that hasn't really, I mean, like the surface of it, but when you start to scratch a little bit.
Well, and being in the industry, would you ever has that ever, granted you deal with it every day, but the idea of going, I am not going to talk about your business ever if you don't pay me, as a talk show, It's different because you're not playing tunes, but like, just if you've ever been in that position where I wonder if it was pretty hard to be like, no.
We used to have to sign all sorts of disclosures and contracts and agreements, and
you had to sign a log.
Yeah, you will not do it this way and whatever. I mean,
so was it always like that in as soon as you started? Was it always payola plugola was very much?
Yeah, it's very. Again, how old do you think I am?
I mean, we don't have.
I'll go back to the 50s.
Like you went to work in a buggy and carriage, right? Like
actually, my first job in radio, I had to get a radio license, but I didn't have to pass any. I just had to pay $35.
Yep.
and get the license, and the station paid that for me.
And it was a yellow piece of paper.
It was a yellow piece of paper, and then like 6 months later, they were like, "Oh, you don't need the license anymore." Yeah.
Huh, so you didn't have to like know any. You just had to pay the fee. It was just kind of like a FCC money, a baby money grab.
Yeah, I think Ronald Reagan was the first one to sort of start to deregulate some of the whole. What do they call it? The not the fair doctrine, the equal time. Remember, you guys might be too old, too young for this, but Sunday nights, all the radio stations would play their public affairs shows.
Oh, right.
And it would be just weird, sort of, and you'd be looking for songs, like whatever. And you're like, what's all this? Where's the music? And they would dump all their Sunday night would be their public affairs shows, and that would be their equal time community service deal,
EEOC.
Yeah, and then Ronald Reagan sort of started. That's when it started, and it ultimately. Then they were allowed to put like Rush came at that time, right? Rush was very right leaning, so you didn't need a left leaning person to sort of. So they always played it down the middle with these public affairs shows on Sunday night.
For a second, I thought you were talking about the band. I was like, wait, what?
Rush
right
Limbaugh.
leaning. Oh,
Rush Limbaugh.
The first thing they allowed them to do was put them on at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm not. All I know is that those equal time things started to go away. I mean, they still exist in some weird way. But if you're considered a news program, you don't have to do equal time. But how except when you're in a political window, which is why, like, if a candidate reaches out to us, we have to put the candidate on because we're inside of the political window. And even if you're Bill Haas, God rest his soul, running for dog catcher, he would come on the show and then badmouth me. 6:17. Captain Paul Kopsky, we had a terrible tragedy over the night, didn't we? A two-way traffic fatality on 64 in Jefferson.
Yeah, I think that was in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
So
is that all cleared up now?
Yeah, that one's cleared, and right now there's nothing going on the roads. We just have a few construction notes. All westbound 64 and northbound 61 lanes at the 64 interchange will be closed overnight from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. tonight through Thursday for bridge work. There's road work on 5570 West between 255 and Illinois 203. And we have more road work on 5570 East between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
An extreme heat warning continues until 9 o'clock tonight as our dangerous heat wave rolls on. I'm forecasting 99 this afternoon. That's the hottest of the year so far. The heat index between 110 and 115. Just brutal. Plenty of sunshine today, but a spot storm possible this afternoon and early this evening. Any storms that develop in this heat could be strong. Down to 80 for a very muggy low tonight. The heat not as intense Tuesday, but we're still up there, gang. A high of 92. Heat index between 100 and 105 tomorrow. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, it is currently 83 degrees out there. Check on mom and dad, check on grandma and grandpa, make sure the dogs and the cats have plenty of water, and count your steps today, as my grandmother would say. Count your steps. It's going to be a tough one. 6:20, let's check in with Karen Travers, ABC News. Karen Travers, President Trump over the weekend stopped the bombing of Iran, and now, I guess, mulling over a larger offensive. What do we know?
Yeah, well, we're told, that he is actually holding off on that. He had met with senior advisors on Friday at the White House. This comes after he had threatened late last week a massive attack on Iran, bigger than ever before, as he put it. And there had been 13 consecutive nights of strikes on Iran and, of course, retaliation by Iran. But sources tell us the president is putting off a major escalation to give way for diplomacy to try and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We're told that he was prepared to launch a series of strikes on Friday, but decided to hold off, and that there was also discussion about the impact that a major attack could have on the depleting stockpile of air defense interceptors. This is something the New York Times had reported late last week, that there was concerns that a wider conflict or an escalation could drain those already diminished stockpiles of defensive weapons, and among other concerns about the prospect of a widening war. But we saw pushback from the administration over the weekend against that. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, said that the military has everything it needs to conduct this campaign as effectively as it needs to be.
Interesting, because last week President Trump was saying he was going to continue bombing basically until Iran was ready to come to the bargaining table, and apparently just stopped over the weekend, right?
Yeah, that's basically what happened. 13 straight nights, then a pause. Iran was not doing it again, because they were really doing retaliation. We would do something, they would retaliate, aimed at U.S. assets or allies in the region. But there is now a pause. And Waltz, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, said this is really to give talks some space. He says talks are ongoing, that they're happening at every level. The Iranians say that they're not talking to the United States, that there are no negotiations with the U.S., but they are having negotiations with Oman, as a mediator, and that they're focused on creating necessary arrangements for the Strait of Hormuz. They do still seem, at least publicly, based on their statements, to have a different take on what they're negotiating versus what the administration is saying, what they want. So we'll kind of see where things go in the coming days.
Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Karen, thanks for checking in.
Have a great day.
You got it. Karen Travers with us here. Busy weekend for her. She was, and the whole Washington crew was at the Washington Correspondents' Dinner. That was the redo after the canceled one after the shut down because of the person who breached security and all that type of stuff. Went off without a hitch, and they were able to raise some money for some good causes, and it was a relatively newsless night, I guess it was safe to say, right? I mean, there's no real major news. President Trump gave his speech, threw a couple insults at the audience, and everybody went home. So it's kind of a non-story. So nothing really to talk about other than kind of a non-story. 623 here, Big 550 KTRS. Stay right there. We got lots more to get to. Let's talk about Stewart. That's Stewart's American Mortgage, because as we now turn towards the fall, I know that's hard to say, but right, end of July, beginning of August, all of a sudden it's going to be September and start turning towards fall here. At Stewart's American Mortgage, he has mortgages, and interest rates are somewhat elevated because of the world events. Do not be fooled into thinking that you can go somewhere else and get a better interest rate. They all have about the same interest rates, right? That's the news of the day, right? Interest rates are elevated somewhat, and then they go down, and they go back up again, all because of world events. And your individual interest rate is based on your individual formula, right? How much money you have, how much money you make, how much money you want to borrow, all of that, right, is put into the computer, then spits out your interest rate. So when you shop for fees, or when you shop for rates, it's sort of a misnomer. What you should do is shop for fees, and that's where Stewart comes in. That's Stewart's American Mortgage. Yes, he can get you the great low rates as everybody else, or the best rate possible, depending on whatever it is, but he won't charge you the $8,000 the other guy down the street will. He's not going to charge you it, because anything over $200,000 qualifies for the bagel loan. A bagel looks like a zero. That's how much you pay in fees. You know, a lot of people thought he was a marketing ploy. People thought he was hiding the fees. He's been doing this now for 10 plus years here on the Big 550 KTRS. And, all the skepticism has fallen by the wayside, and he's just got a track record of satisfied customers from here to Timbuktu and back. That's possible. 314-324-4440. Buying a house, it's very difficult these days with the limited inventory and the number of people buying and not enough houses. Call Stewart. He'll run the numbers for you. It makes sense. to save $8,000 when you're trying to buy a house. Grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, tell the kids. 314-324-4440 or stewartsamc.com.
Did you know Florissant is 240 years old this year? Come out and celebrate 240 years of Florissant at the historic Old St. Ferdinand Shrine. Join the City of Florissant and Old Town Partners for an evening of community and fun. Festivities begin at 5:30 with the unveiling of a 240th anniversary plaque, followed by live music from Northwind's Band at 6 and a family-friendly movie beginning at 7:30. Food and drinks will be available from Knights of Columbus 2951, sponsored by CNB St. Louis Bank and Helfers. Come celebrate Florissant's past, present, and future. We'll see you at the Old St. Ferdinand Shrine.
That's Wednesday, July 29th. Join in the celebration. For the last 33 years, we've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do I hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat from Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
Henry here for my friends at Black Fox Cooper. Many homeowners live with old, drafty windows for years, thinking they can put it off until later. But once they replace them with new Andersen windows, they can't believe the difference. Their homes are quieter, more comfortable, and more energy efficient, and the curb appeal is dramatically improved. Black Fox Cooper helps homeowners understand their options and select the right Andersen windows for their home and budget. Do it today, not tomorrow. Call 314-270-1484. Online at blackfoxcooper.com. Black Fox Cooper, your local Andersen certified contractor.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Hear me out. What if we go to White Castle and get the new garlic parm chicken sliders with juicy chicken, crispy onions, and garlic parm sauce? And what if we get the combo with 2 sliders, mozzarella sticks, and a drink? Yeah, that's a thing. And it's only $6.99. As your castle craving, it's my job to make sure you know this stuff. What if we go now?
New garlic parm chicken slider combo at participating castles for a limited time while supplies last. Tax not included. White Castle. Crave thy castle.
Looking for your next favorite place? Head to Big Chief's Roadhouse on historic Route 66 in Wildwood. Relax on the beautiful patio, discover the hidden speakeasy, and enjoy fresh garden-to-table flavors straight from Big Chief's own gardens. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or drinks with friends, there's something for everyone. Visit BigChiefSTL.com, call 636-458-3200, or stop by today and experience one of Route 66 true dining destinations at Big Chief Roadhouse on Route 66.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Let's get a look at your commute. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, the roads are quiet right now with no accidents or slow traffic. Just a few construction notes. All westbound 64 and northbound 61 lanes at the 70-64 interchange will be closed overnight from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. tonight through Thursday for bridge work. There's road work on 5570 west between 255 and Illinois 203. And more road work on 5570 east between Illinois 111 and Fairmont. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st, for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza on July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
83 degrees right now. Let me say that again. It is 6:30 in the morning at 83 degrees right now. It's going to go all the way up to 98 degrees. Hot and humid. Winds not moving at all. 98 degrees. Overnight tonight, low of 80. Tomorrow, high of 90 as of right now. So it might be a little better tomorrow. Extreme heat warning through tonight at 9 o'clock. 83 officially right now. At 6:31, back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Police are searching for a second suspect after gunfire erupted at a crowded food festival beneath Seattle's Space Needle. 2 men and a woman died and 4 were wounded Sunday, including a toddler. Police currently have 1 suspect in custody. The shooting happened at the end of the annual Bite of Seattle festival. Mediators have made progress in efforts to bring the United States and Iran back to negotiations and prevent an all-out war in the Middle East, according to 2 regional officials. This comes after a pause in attacks, with neither of the U.S. nor Iran reporting any strikes for 3 days. The U.S. has paused attacks after targeting Iranian areas in response to Iran firing at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. In local headlines, Phase 2 of Metrolink's next-generation fare system goes online today. The 13 additional stations joined 13 stations that went online on July 6th. The new program allows riders to tap a fare card or pass or scan a QR code at validators at the security gates to enter the platform and automatically caps fares once the daily, weekly, or monthly pass rate has been reached. If you're looking to save time by voting early in St. Louis County, you now have the ability to make an appointment. The St. Louis County Board of Elections is taking appointments to vote early at its headquarters at 725 Northwest Plaza Drive in St. Anne. Appointments can be made at the Board of Elections website. 83 degrees. Time now is 6:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Walton Oak Florist, so you want to call for all of your floral needs. It is the season where people are getting engaged, and all of a sudden you've got a wedding to plan. And you got to get some flowers going. And so Walter Knoll's got a whole wedding department. When you sit down with Walter Knoll, they'll figure out what's the best way for the rehearsal dinner, for maybe even the wedding shower. And then, of course, you got place settings for the reception. And then, of course, you don't forget about the church. You got a lot of things to worry about. Let Walter Knoll handle all of it. You know, every time you walk into a Walter Knoll wedding, you say, oh, well, this is really nice. You just know that's a little bit nice when it comes to Walter Knoll. And they, of course, stay within your budget because everyone's got a budget. And so you'll work with Walter Knoll and their staff to make sure it comes off without a hitch. Walter Knoll Florists have been doing this since the 1880s, whether it's happy occasions, sad occasions, centerpieces, or no occasion at all. Bring home a fistful of flowers for no other reason to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. WKF.com, 1-800-341-ROSE, 1-800-341-ROSE, or WKF.com. Let Walter Knoll be your family florist.
Calling all Metro East residents. The weather may be unpredictable, but that doesn't mean your home comfort has to be. From emergency heating and cooling emergencies and repairs to new systems and yearly maintenance checks, you can feel confident that you're ready for whatever Mother Nature throws at you with the help from the friends at Viviano. Get quality, reliable service every time, any season. Go to their website, vivianoair.com. That's vivianoair.com. Train, the most reliable name in heating and cooling around. It's hard to stop a train.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Hey, Heidi here for Window Depot USA, where they do things right. They combine integrity and a focus on helping the community with local service you can trust. And with Window Depot's buying power, they can offer you triple pane performance at double pane pricing. To celebrate America's 250th birthday, Window Depot is offering you $250 off each window and door with a qualifying purchase. When you do things right, you create happy customers. And at Window Depot, they create happy customers. Call 636-939-4800 or visit them online at windowdepotstl.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Summer is here, and it's not too late to book your next vacation or quick last-minute getaway with the travel experts at AAA Travel. AAA Travel makes vacation planning easy and stress-free with amazing deals on cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, and family vacations. Take advantage of their great summer deals. Trips are booking up quickly, so book now to lock in better pricing and availability. Visit your local AAA Travel office or go online, AAA.com/travel.
It's the GOAT! The greatest of all trade-in events at HW Kia. Bring your trade now and get up to $5,000 over book value for it. If your trade is old, tired, stinky, or being held together by duct tape and a prayer, HW Kia wants it. Paid off or not, bring that old goat in to HW Kia. Then drive home a new HW Kia K4 for just $189 a month. Yes, only $189 a month on a 24-month lease. It's the HW Kia GOAT event. The greatest of all trade-in events. Get up to $5,000 over book value for your trade now. New K4, just $189 a month. HW Kia in the heart of West County on Manchester Road. And remember, Big D wants to see ya in an HW Kia. Start now at hwkia.com. With approved credit to well-qualified buyers through Kia Finance. 2026 K4, $36.95 to its signing. Discount includes $850 in lease cash. 10,000 miles per year. No security deposit. Plus tax, title, license, and admin. Fee expires 7/31/26.
McGraw Millhaven on KTR.
$6:37 here at Big 550 KTRS. So 1 week from tomorrow, you can vote now, right? Absentee if you want to, but the voting ends, I guess, next Tuesday. You can go vote through Tuesday of next week. And of all the things we've been talking about, a lot of Amendment 5, a lot of Amendment 4, right? Amendment 5 is the income tax. Amendment 4 is the change in the constitutional amendment process. Proposition U. Which one's Proposition U?
That sounds kind of naughty.
You propositioned who? I propositioned you. Proposition U is St. Louis County. So if you're in the county, this is what you're voting on. You will be voting on whether or not to raise your raise your sales tax 3.5% on everything you buy on the interwebs. As of right now, you have, when you go to the store, when you go to Goodfellow on Highway 40, there is a huge retail development there, or will be very soon as they figure out what retail they want to put there. You walk and you buy something, there is a sales tax, and the sales tax is varying depending on your town and everything else, right? Because the town and the county has their own special sales tax in the state. And it's, 8, 9, 10%, whatever it is. In St. Louis County, when you live in St. Louis County and you buy something on the interwebs, the state has a sales tax, but your county, St. Louis County, does not have the sales tax. So even though you're paying a little bit of sales tax on that purchase that you just had on Amazon, St. Louis County is not collecting their what they would collect if you bought it in a brick and mortar store. So Proposition U would allow them to charge the 3.5% that they would charge in the brick and mortar store to charge you online to level the playing field. And they say that the tax would generate $74 to $95 million in new revenue for the county, and it would wipe out the deficit. And there's a bipartisan council coalition that put Proposition U on the ballot. So there you go. They're all in agreement. One of the rare things St. Louis County elected officials agree on is Proposition U. Now, if you're a voter, I don't know why you would want to vote on this. Vote in favor of this. You're voting to pay everything you buy online is an extra 3.5%. On the other hand, I think it's unfair that the brick and mortar store, you get charged more. You put the brick and mortar store at an unfair advantage. You put the local business at an unfair advantage as opposed to the out-of-town person, right? Why are you charging less tax to the out-of-town person?
But can't the local stores also, you can buy local online? Right?
Yeah, I don't know how that works exactly.
Most people shop on. It seems like more people buy stuff online.
Well,
brick and mortar.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people at the stores. But you're putting the stores at an unfair advantage. All right, when you go to the store, it's going to cost you 3.5% more than it would if you bought the same thing online.
Yeah.
So the St. Louis
Didn't they try this once already?
I think they tried it once and it failed. Yeah. They're going to try this again. Yeah. But this is Proposition U, and it's for St. Louis County voters. So it's another.
So, you could shop in the city and not have to pay.
I think they already have it.
I think the city already has it. Yeah. So this is just county. It's just St. Louis. I think St. Charles has it too, actually. I think it's St. Louis County does not have it.
But like if I was sitting in the county shopping on my phone or something, buying something online, how does that work? How do they know that?
Yeah, I think it's where you live.
They're tracking you.
Yeah, where you live, where it gets sent to.
So I could just use my aunt's address in the county and get all my stuff sent there, so I don't have to pay sales tax or something like that.
Sure, I guess you could do that.
I mean, I'm just saying, it just doesn't seem.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I'm doing that. I'm just saying.
No, I understand it, but that's part of the argument to this proposition for Amendment 5 with the increase in the sales tax and they're doing away with the income tax, right? At some point, if you've got a sales tax of 11, 12, 13%, maybe it just makes more sense to go to Illinois and buy.
Right.
So that's sort of the argument there. But again, you're putting your local stores at a competitive disadvantage. You should have it the other way around. You should charge more online, quite frankly, to entice people to go to your brick and mortar store, to your local store, to support local. But what do I know?
Well, how does that that's weird. If I bought something from Cheryl's Herbs online and they're in Maplewood, you know what I mean? I don't
know how that works. If you're in that's right. I don't know about that. But if you buy Cheryl's Herbs from Oregon, as opposed to Bob's Herbs from down the street, you're putting Bob's Herbs at a competitive disadvantage than Cheryl.
Cheryl's Herbs are better than Bob's.
Well, it's cheaper, so. It's an interesting dilemma, but you get to vote on a Proposition U 1 week from tomorrow. So there you go. 6:43 here. Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul. So far, so good. As we reach the first hour, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. What's the latest?
Well, McGraw, the roads are still quiet with no accidents or slow traffic. Just a few construction notes. All westbound 64 and northbound 1 lanes at the 74 interchange will be closed overnight from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. tonight through Thursday for bridge work. There's road work on 5570 west between 255 and Illinois 203, and more road work on 5570 east between Illinois 111 and Fairmont. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st, for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
The hot and humid weather is set to continue. Sunny, hot, and humid on Monday with a high of 97 and a peak heat index up to 110. Clear skies Monday night as we drop to 80. And then for Tuesday, mostly sunny, hot and humid with a high of 92 degrees and a peak heat index up around 103. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Morelli tuck pointing. Morelli is your go-to, and so the freeze and thaw cycles you have in the wintertime, the rain gets behind the joints, it freezes, it expands, pops the joints. You know the deal. At some point, you're going to need a tuck pointer, and at some point, Morelli tuck pointing. Also, you see this all the time. The gutters leak or the gutters overflow in the valley, and it trickles down. It sort of washes all that mortar away. All sorts of reasons why you'd need a tuck pointer, and that's why you would call Morelli. Morelli is the gold standard here in St. Louis. Lots of people put out a shingle and say they can do tuck pointing as well as landscaping and roofing and gutters and everything else. But you want to go with an expert, somebody who knows the business, somebody who knows how to solve the problem. Morelli, when you get right down to it, they are better. They've got a great reputation, easy to use. Their prices are extremely reasonable. In fact, the fly-by-nighters can't beat the price at Morelli because Morelli does it right. 314-645-1387 for all of your tuck pointing, residential or commercial, anything to do with brick or stone, chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations. It's Morelli or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
The Big 550 KTRS is proud to be celebrating 30 years of being the talk of St. Louis and looking forward to another 30 years. But we want to hear from you and get your thoughts on what you like and don't like and what we can do better. Go to KTRS.com or to the KTRS app and take our 30th anniversary listener survey. We thank you in advance, and once you take the survey, you'll be registered for a chance to win one of 5 $200 Visa gift cards from the Big 550, the talk of St. Louis.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah. And now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news. Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
I love that song. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Talk cattle. The screwworm scare is over. What's going on here?
Yeah, we've got 42 cases now in 15 counties here in Texas. Now, many of these are inactive cases, meaning that the animals involved were either euthanized or died because of the New World screwworm. The screwworm, of course, is this fly that lands on any mammal, really. It deposits its eggs generally in an open wound or something like that, and it can kill that animal. So, yeah, the push was on last year to try to keep it from coming into the U.S. from Mexico. It had made its way all the way up from Central America. And so the administration imposed a ban on the importation of Mexican cattle because that's how it was assumed to have gotten into the United States the last time. So, yeah, for the last year, we've had this ban. Did the screwworm get in? Yeah, it got in, regardless, maybe not as broadly as it would have otherwise. And at the same time, beef prices have gone through the roof. We're looking at record high prices right now, McGraw.
Yeah, and so the administration, is going to allow beef into the country now?
Yes, it's lifting the importation ban, at least in a limited way. So about a month from now, 30 days from the point that this announcement was made, we'll start importing beef again, cattle, other animals, livestock from Mexico through the port of entry at Douglas, Arizona, which is a long way from Texas. And then it'll gradually move to the east. We'll have importation through the ports of entry into Mexico. Maybe someday importation through the Texas ports of entry. That hasn't happened yet. We don't know, when the timeline is on that.
That's weird. I would think that the administration would want to keep foreign beef out to keep the American cattle ranchers happy, but I guess not.
Well, no, yeah, and it's supply and demand, and it's economics related to this. Never before has the U.S. cattle herd been this small, at least not until back in the 1950s. So it's at a 75-year low. And that has helped to push up prices, too, because demand is still there. People still want their ground beef. They still want their steaks. So they're willing to pay more. But prices, again, have gone up something like 12% in just the past year.
Yeah, no, they're not joking when they say beef prices have gone up through the roof. So are they worried that they're going to let the beef in? Are they worried that now some more cases of screwworm might start appearing?
Sure. I mean, that's always the risk that you take with this kind of situation. And sure, I'm sure that cattle ranchers in Arizona will be watching very carefully when those first cattle come through the port of entry there at Douglas. But the controls are in place. They're trying to keep it contained to the various places that it has been found already. That is 15 counties here in Texas. And so, yeah, and increasingly the cases have gone inactive here. Again, that means the animal has died one way or another, but there are still active cases in 4 Texas counties.
Yeah, we should say that the screwworm is not dangerous to humans, correct?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, if you cook the beef, it's going to kill the screwworm larvae. It's not very appetizing, but yeah, it's more a threat to the economy than it is to people.
Right. Yeah. And how many cattle are they expected to start letting in? Any idea?
Not yet. I mean, we don't know what, the U.S. is working quite closely with Mexico to look at those numbers and see where how much the importation should be allowed at one point. So no, we don't know yet.
Any idea what it'll do to the prices? Obviously bring the prices down, but do we know how much?
No, but it's all theoretical at this point. Will it bring down prices? The theory says yes. Will it? Maybe, maybe not. But I mean, it's $6.83 a pound right now for ground beef. It can't go much higher than that without people saying, you know what, I'm going to eat chicken instead.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Thanks for checking in, Jim. Have a good day. Yeah.
See you, McGraw.
The exact opposite of right. It's weird. It's sort of the yin and the yang. Everyone's talking about tariffs, putting tariffs on and keeping foreign competition out to protect the American worker in one sense, but in the next sense, we're making Mexican cattle ranchers great again. I mean, it's good. It's good to be an American beef producer, right? I mean, it's good times, best of times. But I mean, it's too good. We got to start allowing some Mexican cattle ranchers some money.
Immigrant cows coming in.
Yeah, immigrant cows coming in to take away the jobs of the American cow.
Right.
Yeah,
it's an outrage.
Seems counterintuitive. because the administration, right? The theory is, right, we don't want to have the Canadian lumber in here. We don't want to have all the other things that they've talked about with the tariffs, President Trump putting tariffs on everything and then somehow allowing the Mexican beef in. Strange. Interesting. By the way, that screwworm, talk to a scientist about how they're trying to do away with the screwworm, varying degrees of success, but they wanted to harvest the screwworms, inject them or expose their bodies to radiation. This is true, making them sterile and then releasing them into the public and then thus killing off the next generation of screwworms. No, so that's seriously a thing. They've been doing it since like the 50s.
I know, it just seems...
It seems like a science fiction movie. But they release them from like planes, and they just release them, and they fly down, and then they procreate with the female screwworms, and they die off. Varying degrees of success, but that's...
Poor rights are being violated.
But that's what they do. We don't really care about the screwworm. I care about my beef prices. So there you go. 6:57 here. St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, it's been an easy morning commute so far. And taking a look at some drive times, it's 10 minutes from 270 and 55 up to Manchester. Also 10 minutes to go from the Poplar Street Bridge to 255 in Collinsville. A 15-minute ride from 270 at the Chain of Rocks Bridge to 170. There's road work on 5570 west between 255 and Illinois 203. And we have road work on 5570 east between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. This traffic report is brought to you again by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st, for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather for the next couple of days. It is dangerously hot out there. I mean, it's like not even funny hot out there. They're calling for a heat advisory at least through tonight at 9 p.m. So today it's going to be a high of 99 degrees. Few clouds, no real rain in the forecast, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm or two, but high of 99. Watch the dog, make sure the dog's got plenty of water. Don't leave anybody in the car. Check on mom and dad. The air conditioner goes out, call Gelmish and Sons immediately. This thing is no joke. Overnight tonight, low of 80, believe it or not. And then tomorrow we've got a high of 88. Still hazy, hot, and humid, but for whatever reason, it's going to be 10 degrees cooler tomorrow. But I don't know if we'll be able to tell the difference. Look, we're 88 and hot and humid Wednesday. Thursday, seems like Friday, a new front comes in. Going to get some rain and temperatures back down into the low 80s on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we got to make it through Thursday, and then things will seem to break on the second half of the week. It is, what do we say, 83 right now?
82 now.
82 right now at the Big 550 KTRS. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, everyone complains about the price of beef. Go look at the price of candy, of a candy bar, and tell me that a $4 candy bar is worth the price. This comes from a beef producer perspective. Yeah, everything's up. It's pick your poison. Bread, eggs. Actually, eggs are really cheap. Actually, I picked up a dozen eggs the other day for $1.17 or something. I still can't figure out why some dozen eggs are $5 and $6 and one dozen eggs are $1.95. 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A food festival in the heart of Seattle ending in tragedy with the death of 3 people and the wounding of 3 more in a mass shooting. ABC's Alex Stone is near the Space Needle with details.
First responders rushing to the festival, attempting to revive 2 of the people who were shot. Both of those victims ultimately declared dead on scene. 4 other people, including a 2-year-old, were transported by firefighters to a local hospital after sustaining injuries. One of them later died. One suspect has been taken into custody. Police say another suspect is still on the loose.
A pause in the U.S.-Iran war, but a delicate one as diplomatic efforts resume once again. ABC's Rachel Scott is in Washington.
Sources tell me today that President Trump is now holding off on a major escalation against Iran to give way for diplomacy to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. I'm told the president was prepared to launch a series of strikes on Friday, but decided to hold off. Sources also say officials discussed the impact a major attack could have on the U.S.'s depleting stock of air defense interceptors.
In parts of Central Europe, wildfires are burning out of control and authorities are going door to door telling people to get out. ABC's Marcus Moore is close to the French border in Spain.
Terrifying wildfires fueled by bone-dry conditions and high winds, forcing some 300,000 people in Spain and France to flee their homes. Authorities calling the conditions in France's Gironde region, home to the country's famous Bordeaux wine, among the worst they have ever seen. Fire scorching an area 4 times the size of Paris.
At an emergency meeting of French government officials today, the country's interior minister did say that the largest fire has stopped growing. The suspect in this weekend's ramming and machete attack at a Pride festival in Berlin is dead. He was killed in a confrontation with German police in a suburb of the city. They think he had ties to Islamic State groups. You're listening to ABC News.
You want it? We got it. Your home for everything Mizzou Tigers. The Big 550. KTRS St. Louis.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Choose Pella of St. Louis for window and door replacement to help enhance your home. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Good morning. It's 82 degrees at 7:03. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News. 2 people are dead after a wrong-way accident on Interstate 64 near downtown St. Louis last night. St. Louis Metropolitan Police say a motorist entered the highway at Forest Park Avenue traveling eastbound in the westbound lanes before colliding with another vehicle near Jefferson just before 11:40 p.m. Both vehicles caught fire in the collision. Police say both drivers were pronounced dead and a passenger in the wrong-way vehicle was transported to an area hospital with serious injuries. The Major Case Squad is looking for a suspect in the murder of a 16-year-old in Cahokia Heights. Cahokia Heights police say Lamarion L. Davis of Washington Park was fatally shot in the 1100 block of Camp Jackson Road just before 8 last night. Davis was shot multiple times and was pronounced dead at the scene. Anyone with information on the incident is being asked to call the Major Case Squad at 618-931-5100 or contact Crime Stoppers. Illinois is launching a new program aimed to improve communication during traffic stops for motorists with autism. The Blue Envelope program will allow motorists on the autism spectrum to hand the officer an envelope containing relevant information, including their driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, while signaling the officer that the motorist may need a different method for communication. Participation is voluntary, and the program goes into effect statewide on January 1st. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. And you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 82 degrees. Time now is 7:04. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
All right, Stephen Roberts joins us at 7:05. He is the political guru at ABC News. Good morning, Stephen Roberts. Have yourself a good day.
Good morning, my friend.
Let's talk these two parties. They seem to be limping to the midterms, both with their problems. Let's start with the Democrats. What do you see as the Democratic issue that they haven't been able to get their act together?
I think one of the biggest issues is the fact that in these small but highly visible elections in New York and Colorado, a couple other places, Democrats have nominated Democratic socialists to run for Congress. And they're also poised to do that in Michigan in a very critical Senate race where a left-wing candidate, Abdul El-Sayed, seems to be running ahead in the polls. And look, this hands the Republicans a golden opportunity. Democrats for years, as you and I have discussed many times, have struggled with the notion that somehow this is a liberal country and that the Bernie Sanders wing of the party can somehow win elections. And it's just not true. It's just not true. And this allows Republicans to campaign on the arguments that, see, I told you. We told you this Democratic Party is out of touch with ordinary mainstream Americans, not just on economic issues, but in some ways even more damaging on cultural issues. That ad during the last campaign, Donald Trump is for you, Kamala Harris is for they, them, was a brilliantly destructive ad and to Democratic hopes. And the Democrats, by nominating these, not in a whole lot of places, but when you nominate someone in New York, it's very visible because of the media attention that it gets. So, and the Democrats have simply not found a coherent, positive message. They're galvanized around the argument of hatred and fear of Donald Trump. That's a very powerful organizing fact, but it's not as if Americans are flocking to the Democratic banner and saying, wow, would love to have Democrats in power. By far, their biggest issue is negative. Let's stop Trump.
I agree with a lot of that. Where does the Democratic populism come into all of this? Are we starting to see right? We see the Trump populism. What about the Democratic populism with some of these elections?
Yeah, it gets a little complicated because populism is one of these political issues that doesn't necessarily fall neatly in a left-right spectrum. And in a number of cases, Democrats have nominated candidates from working class backgrounds, military backgrounds, who are very consciously running on the argument that, we're not just the coastal elites, but we can stay in touch with working people. They understand the problem. They just haven't been very successful at executing. Look at what Maine. They recruit this oyster fisherman named Graham Plattner, 41 years old. Everybody thinks this is the classic example of Democratic populism. He's exactly the kind of candidate we have a real chance of defeating. And the incumbent senator there, Susan Collins, and his campaign totally implodes, in part because he was totally inexperienced. And there are values in bringing in fresh or real, because once you are in that white house spotlight of public scrutiny, a lot of things in your background that suddenly look a lot different. That's exactly what happened with Plattner. So it's a great idea to bring in these untested and man and woman of the people candidates, but if they're not experienced in politics, they can run a lot of risks.
We're seeing in the Democratic Party what's been going on in the Republican Party for the last couple of cycles, right? Electing the Herschel Walkers of the world, the ones who might, throw out the red meat, but have a hard time winning the general election. You count up how many senators would have been a Republican if they would have nominated a more traditional candidate.
Yeah, all true. But the other factor here, that, and this is something you and I have talked about many times, but Donald Trump faces an excruciatingly difficult problem right now. His attempt to escalate the war and restart the bombing campaign against Iran has not move the negotiations forward. And he's threatened even greater retaliation. But here's the excruciating dilemma. If he pursues the war, if he bombs Iran's oil infrastructure, if he tries to close off the Strait of Hormuz from oil traffic, that might turn the screws economically on Iran and perhaps bring them to the negotiating table, although it hasn't worked so far. But whatever he does militarily could have very damaging effects economically and politically back home, because they're going to drive up the price of gas. Gas is now up to $4.11 nationally this morning. Brown University did a very interesting study. They've been tracking how much Americans pay in excess fuel costs as a result of the war. Their tracker is now up to $74 billion, which comes out to $567 per household. So that, and so Trump and the Republicans are staggering under the economic burdens and of the war, not just what it costs to fight the war, but even more damaging politically, the effect it's had on inflation and particularly on the cost of gas. So, Trump, how do you pursue the war without making your economic and political situation even worse at home? That's the core problem facing the Republicans.
Yeah, that's a good way. And that $74 billion, that's not spent in restaurants and bars and T-shirts and jeans and pants and lawn care and everything else. That's gone right into the pockets of the oil companies and everybody else. So that's taken out of the local economy, which is also then has a devastating effect. Stephen Roberts, we'll leave it there. Have yourself a good week. Thanks for checking in. Try and stay cool.
We're going to play the Cardinals next week.
Well, we will discuss at length next week.
Okay.
All right. Have a good week. 7:12 here, Big 550 KTRS. Kevin Paul. So far, so good this morning. How's it look in the St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center?
Right, McGraw. 30 East is slow, though, between Browning and 270 in Sunset Hills. No problems on 270 North so far this morning. It's a 10-minute ride from 270 and 55 up to Manchester. Also 10 minutes to go from the Poplar Street Bridge to 255 in Collinsville. And just 6 minutes to go from 70 at the Blanchette Bridge to the airport. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
An extreme heat warning continues until 9 o'clock tonight as our dangerous heat wave rolls on. I'm forecasting 99 this afternoon. That's the hottest of the year so far. The heat index between 110 and 115. Just brutal. Plenty of sunshine today, but a spot storm possible this afternoon and early this evening. Any storms that develop in this heat could be strong. Down to 80 for a very muggy low tonight. The heat not as intense Tuesday, but we're still up there, gang. A high of 92. Heat index between 100 and 105 tomorrow. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let me tell you about retiring, because at some point, we like to retire at some point, right? You like to go enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've been putting money in these accounts for years and years and years. You've been putting money into Social Security. They've been taking that out of your paycheck. You've been putting money into your 401ks. You've been doing the right thing. You've been each week and every month, you've been putting your money away. Now you're getting ready to retire. Now you got to take your money out. I never taught you how to take the money out. That's why Kevin Lloyd is here to help you take out that money in a tax-efficient way. Because if you take the money out in a non-tax-efficient way, you're going to take money out and pay taxes on the money to pay taxes, right? The more money, you got to take out money to pay your taxes, and then you got to take out more money to pay the taxes that you had to pay for your taxes, right? It's a vicious cycle. That's why Kevin Lloyd has set up tried and true strategies so that you can retire and keep that money in the bank, have a tax efficient way to take it out, increase your Social Security, lower your Social Security taxes, if not eliminate them, and then put money in that account so that they can grow over time so you don't have to worry about retirement and you can enjoy. You need a plan when it comes to retirement. You just can't wing it. That's why Kevin Lloyd is here. 314-641-1010. 314-641-1010. Go make an appointment and go see what the plan is all about. And go see what everyone has been talking about all these years with Kevin Lloyd. The website is whenretirementhappens.com, 314-641-1010, or the website whenretirementhappens.com.
You're selling your home and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
The Raceway features a full schedule on their drag strip, oval track, and Gateway Kartplex. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to WWTRaceway.com.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
That's WWTRaceway.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Looking for your next favorite place? Head to Big Chief's Roadhouse on historic Route 66 in Wildwood. Relax on the beautiful patio, discover the hidden speakeasy, and enjoy fresh garden-to-table flavors straight from Big Chief's own gardens. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or drinks with friends, there's something for everyone. Visit BigChiefSTL.com, call 636-458-3200, or stop by today and experience one of Route 66 true dining destinations at Big Chief Roadhouse on Route 66.
Did you wake up this morning with no heat? Blankets and space heaters are a great short-term solution, but why settle for those when you can receive fast, reliable furnace repair from Viviano? We've helped thousands of customers across the Metro East stay cozy and comfortable all season long, and our expert team is ready to help you do the same this winter. For emergency service, you can count on Viviano Heating and Air at VivianoAir.com. That's VivianoAir.com. Trane, the most reliable name in heating and cooling around. It's hard to stop a train.
Hear me out. What if we go to White Castle and get the new garlic parm chicken sliders with juicy chicken, crispy onions, and garlic parm sauce? And what if we get the combo with 2 sliders, mozzarella sticks, and a drink? Yeah, that's a thing. And it's only $6.99. As your castle craving, it's my job to make sure you know this stuff. What if we go now?
New garlic parm chicken slider combo at participating castles for a limited time while supplies last. Tax not included. White Castle. Crave thy castle.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on. And that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation? Missy Mo. Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show. Thursdays at 11. Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town. Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuna Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis. A native of St. Louis. A graduate of Country Day. 3 decades of broadcasting in the MLB.
And the Cardinals have won this game 5-4.
And the NFL.
Patriots win the Super Bowl.
And now host of the upcoming ESPN Jeopardy! The Big 550 congratulates the induction of Joe Buck into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, receiving the Ford C. Frick Award. Joe and his dad, legendary Cardinal play-by-play broadcaster Jack Buck,
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
are the first father and son duo to be inducted. Our very own KTRS Julie Buck could not be prouder of her brother. KTRS salutes and again sends congrats to the entire Buck family. We are the talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
$7:20 here, Big 550 KTRS. Peter Haralambous joins us. Peter, the administration was dealt another blow in the court. What happened?
That's exactly right. The latest setback for the Trump administration here with the First Circuit Court of Appeals in Massachusetts ruling that the president cannot move forward with this executive order that sought to restrict mail-in voting. The Postal Service had been attempting to implement that. They proposed a rule earlier this year. The Postmaster General effectively said that if states refuse to turn over lists of approved voters, the Postal Service would refuse to deliver ballots in those states. So the First Circuit over the weekend, in a 2-1 decision, affirmed that ruling blocking that executive order, writing very clearly, quote, under the Constitution, state and local officials are responsible for administering federal elections. That being said, the fight is far from over. The Trump administration has said they might go to the Supreme Court. And of course, President Trump continues to push the Save America Act.
Voting has already started in some states. We've got a primary going on right now where early voting has already started. How can they be making and changing these rules and arguing over the rules when voting has already happened?
Yeah, it's kind of remarkable to see changes like this being pushed so late in the game. But the way the Postal Service rolled this out, it seemed like it was on a trajectory to possibly take effect before the general elections and effectively impose this new restriction in a way we've really never seen before. It could theoretically slot in, even though elections are ongoing, where the Postal Service basically requires states to create these lists of approved voters and turn them over to the Postal Service in order for absentee ballots to start being delivered in the mail. We've seen this kind of policy raise alarms across the political spectrum, Democrats and Republicans saying that this would be just too much. It's too close to the election. But that being said, the Trump administration has pushed forward with this proposed rule. For now, this prohibition against these changes applies only in 23 states as well, because the lawsuit in question was brought by a group of 23 state attorneys general. Theoretically, the Trump administration could try to push forward with some of these changes in the 27 red states that didn't sign on to the lawsuit.
Where does this go in the courtroom from now?
For now, it seems like we're straight on to the Supreme Court here, because weirdly enough, there is a circuit split where you basically have seen 2 federal appeals courts disagree on what this ruling should be. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals last week said that the president could move forward with this policy because he was in irreparable harm if it could not be implemented by the election. The First Circuit Court of Appeals pushed back and had an opposite ruling saying that this was unlawful, that it cannot take effect. Generally speaking, the Supreme Court is pretty receptive to hearing arguments where you have 2 different appeals courts disagreeing. So we'll have to see how that emergency application is made and if the Supreme Court quickly acts on it.
Yeah, and once again, real quick, because this is very confusing. The argument is that the federal government wants the lists to run it through the Postal Service?
That's right. This executive order was a little bit more broad at the time, where it basically, insisted that the Department of Homeland Security work with the Postal Service to create these lists of approved voters. It's basically an attempt to make sure that absentee ballots aren't going to people who are non-citizens, for example. And that has been challenged in court, especially after the Postal Service basically said that if these lists are not turned over promptly, that the Postal Service would basically refuse to deliver ballots in those states. And it is certainly confusing because we've seen so many different proposals when it comes to the mail-in voting space. The Save America Act, for example, would take that much further. It would basically include the cleaning of voter rolls. It would severely restrict the use of mail-in ballots for only very limited case scenarios, and also include proof of citizenship and the required voter ID to cast the ballot on election day.
Very confusing. Stephen Roberts, Harlan Blues. Peter, thanks for checking in. Have a good day.
Thanks so much.
Almost as confusing, closer to home. Friday, it was announced that ABC 30 is going away.
What?
ABC 30 is no longer going to be ABC 30. ABC 30 is now going to be owned by KMOV Channel 4, and ABC 30 is now going to be ABC 32. So ABC 30, which is owned by Sinclair, okay? The station is owned by Sinclair, but they have a contract with ABC to air their content, right? And their news and whatever else. But ABC 30 doesn't have a local news channel. They haven't had one for, 20, 25 years or so. They do have some national sort of, I don't know what it is. It's like a national sort of news sort of thing to get to satisfy whatever regulations that local channels should have to carry news, whatever that is. But now over the weekend, Gray Media, right? That's who owns KMOV, who we have a affiliation with, has agreed to, I guess the contract with ABC National was up, and they have no longer re-upped it with ABC 30 and have now changed their affiliation to Gray Media, which is KMOV. So KMOV 4 is going to stay CBS and remain on Channel 4. But ABC is going to go from ABC 30 to now Channel 32.
If you have Spectrum.
Okay, no,
it's
hold on a
going to be
second.
4.2. It's going to be their HD channel, their secondary HD channel.
Is that
Yes,
okay?
I'm looking on it right now.
Okay, because it's very confusing. So you would then so Spectrum's going to carry their 4.2 channel
on Channel 32.
So what's if you're on YouTube? I guess YouTube doesn't have a channel.
It does not.
YouTube doesn't have a numbered channel. They just have a. Right,
You just go there.
You just go there, right? So they would just point whatever signal to the ABC 30. So in some ways, it doesn't affect you at all, right? If you've got Spectrum,
you just go.
It's going to be on one day it's going to be called ABC 30. On the next day it's going to be called ABC 32, and it's going to be owned by, or it's going to be run out of ABC 30. But then the next day it's going to be run out of Gray Media.
So if you're looking for Kimmel soon,
starting September 1st.
Channel 4 will be running ads about it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you would think so. And then they've said, Channel 4 has said that they're going to start to create some news content for ABC 32. So in some ways, it doesn't affect the viewer at all. But in other ways, it's also a sign of the times. Right, because you've got Fox 2 owns KPLR, and now they want to buy Channel 5. That's been put on hold because of whatever legal fight that's going on. Now you have CBS KMOV owning the ABC affiliate here in town. So you've got two behemoths and nobody else, I guess, when it comes to TV news.
So right now on Spectrum, Charter, whatever you have, Matrix is on Channel 32. So they're going to either combine them or...
I think, is Matrix going to be its own standalone, or is it going to be...
I think that's
Are they
TBD.
going to incorporate it into the ABC stuff? I don't know, but it was kind of shocking when this sort of came out Friday. I think it was Friday, maybe it was Friday night, maybe. But kind of interesting. Kind of doesn't affect anybody, but actually it kind of does when you think about it. Not necessarily where you'd go to watch the game, But in the coming weeks and months and years, how you right? It looks like ABC might have a news department again.
How many people like antenna? It'll affect. So how many people actually use, like, for instance, how do you get, if you don't have an antenna, or how do you get like the matrix? How do you get 32.1 or whatever
You have
on
to
a
have
normal
an antenna.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's basically who it's otherwise, who else, people who aren't
Right,
getting their
right.
TV from
Right.
numbers channels don't even matter anymore. Right. Like if you're
Right. So if you have an antenna TV, you're going to go to 4.2 is what Carl's saying,
Right,
to
and
get
that-
ABC.
Okay.
And you go to 4.1 to get NBC.
But so like you just said, it's kind of just slowly getting away from the whole concept of channels don't really, channel 5,
Well,
channel 30 just doesn't really seem to matter
Well,
anymore.
right. So if you have Spectrum, you go to channel 142 and that's
Yeah.
channel 4.
Right.
Right. Or
But you said YouTube,
but
right?
YouTube doesn't even have channels.
Yeah,
It just has.
You type it in.
You just go to it. It says right there. It says channel. It says KMOV. It says.
So the days of having to I'm going to turn this channel on because this is coming on at this time, as opposed to I'm just beep boop bop, boop beep. I want to watch
Right,
this
but
exact
Channel
Kimmel
5
right now.
Channel 5 isn't even I don't even think of Channel 5 as a channel. I just think of that as their name. That's their name. What channel is Channel 5 on? Oh, it's on Channel 9. Okay, great. Let me go to Channel 5 and type in 9 because it's on. Because Channel 5 is the marketing ploy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the channel, if that makes any sense. And
yeah.
With YouTube, I can rearrange the channels any way I want. I can have them. I can delete a channel, or if I want like the sports channels first, I can put those first, and then the news channel second,
So
the
you
local
watch your
channels third.
TV through YouTube, like all your TV, like your cable.
I have YouTube TV.
So he types in whatever he wants to watch.
So you're not like, okay,
Well, no,
right,
I have a screen. I have a.
but it will say like, do they do?
I go down and highlight it, and then just hit the button. YouTube is regular YouTube, but then YouTube has a service just like cable. I pay whatever, $50-$60 a month, and I get my local channels through there.
Live stuff?
Live stuff,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I get my local channels, my news channels, my ESPNs, my, all that stuff through YouTube TV. Not YouTube, but YouTube TV.
which is kind of like I guess another cable.
It's like
provider.
Charter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
What about DirecTV?
I'll let you know.
Same deal. I mean, I'm assuming DirecTV is going to pick up ABC 30 or 32 and just
Put it wherever.
Put it wherever the old one was. It's just coming out of a different building. And ABC 30 or the ABC affiliate is no longer owned by Sinclair. It's now owned by Gray Media.
So Channel 30 is not going away. They just will not have ABC programming.
That is correct. Yes. Now, who knows what happens with ABC 30 if they go...
They'll just be called Channel 30.
Right. They'll be Channel 30, and who knows what they're going to do programming-wise. That's a good question. No word from what Sinclair is going to do with the signal of 30, which is interesting. Stay tuned.
Why would they want to do their own? Isn't there plenty of don't they already own a local news affiliate or whatever?
KMOV?
Or yeah, right. Did you say something like they're going to try to maybe put their own news?
So I think economies of scale, kind of like Fox 2. Actually, we'll come back and talk about it. We got to take a break. We'll come back and talk more about it. 7:33 here. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Take it away, Captain Paul.
McGraw, no accidents and just a couple slow spots on the roads right now. 5570 East is just a little slow between Exchange and Illinois 111. 30 East is busy between Ronning and 270 in Sunset Hills. No problems on 270 North so far this morning. It's a 10-minute ride from 270 and 55 up to Manchester. It will also take you 10 minutes to travel from the Poplar Street Bridge to 255 in Collinsville and 9 minutes from 64 and McKnight to Jefferson. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
82 degrees. We're going up to a high of 99. Hazy, hot, and humid. Heat indices over 100. We've got a heat advisory in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. Be smart. Don't be stupid. Have plenty of water. Check on mom and dad. Check on the neighbors. This is going to be bad today. Tomorrow going to be bad, but not as hot. High of 88 tomorrow. 82 officially at 7:35. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
This newscast is brought to you by Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. France's interior minister says a monster wildfire has stopped growing after forcing 220,000 people out of their homes in the country's southwest, but cautions that it is not yet beaten. French President Emmanuel Macron held a crisis meeting Monday to address uncontrolled wildfires. In the Gironde region, the flames have burned an area 4 times the size of Paris. Traffic is set to start flowing across a new bridge over the Detroit River that will serve as a critical route for trade, jobs, and tourism between Canada and the U.S. Last week, Canada celebrated the completion of the Gordie Howe International Bridge with a ribbon-cutting ceremony in Windsor, Ontario. U.S. and Michigan representatives were uninvited from Friday's gathering after President Donald Trump suddenly announced 50% tariffs on Canadian goods entering America. In local headlines, the Creve Coeur City Council plans on introducing a bill at tonight's meeting to put a bond measure on the November ballot. If approved, Proposition S would ask voters to approve a $14 million bond to fund a new government center without increasing the current debt service tax. The new government center would open in the spring of 2029. And Missouri Task Force 1 is home. 48 members of the task force spent the past week in Texas, where they provided support and specialized water rescue resources along the Rio Grande River. The task force also spent time in San Antonio to help prepare for Tropical Storm Bertha. Are you or a family member turning 65? Are you happy with your current health plan? For the right plan, call the Medicare man, Ryan Raphael, 314-368-6808. 82 degrees. Time now is 7:36. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, can I still see Regis and Kathy Lee on 30 or 32? I'm not the one making it confusing. We'll come back and continue to confuse you more about all of this. Miller Furniture, Mueller, millerfurniture.com is the website. Go there to find any one of the 4 area locations. Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows, Fairview Heights has got a great selection of mattresses and accessories and everything else. It's a giant showroom filled with American-made furniture. Ellisville on Manchester Road, again, another giant furniture store that is dedicated to all things Miller Furniture. And then, of course, their world headquarters in Belleville. 60 months, same as cash financing. You can take 20% off a Chatham & Wells mattress or 60 months, 0% interest financing. They've got all sorts of great deals. You can get $500 in free furniture when you purchase any Stearns & Foster or Tempur-Pedic mattress. At Miller Furniture, it's American-made quality. They've got Amish-made furniture that is gorgeous. They've got beautiful Stickleys. Yes, Stickleys. When you buy a Stickley, you buy a little bit of an American history. And what do you get? You get interior designers, not salespeople, who've made a career out of mixing and matching and style and design and all of that at Miller Furniture. Colors, color accessories, pillows, right? All those things that make a room just special and make a room sing. Miller Furniture has all of that for you. All you have to do is walk in the front door. Miller Furniture, Mueller, Miller Furniture, or millerfurniture.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. We didn't get the nickname the St. Louis Corvette Kings by accident. We have specialized in Corvettes for over 30 years, and I need more. You have one for sale, especially C6, C7, and Classic Corvettes. I'm an immediate buyer for very clean, low-mile examples. Hop on our site, mastercarsinc.com, or give us a call to submit what you have. We'll even come to you if we have to. Owe money on it? Don't worry. We'll make the payoff and pay your equity right on the spot. This has been a fantastic Corvette summer, and I want to keep it rolling.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit mastercarsinc.com to get more details. That's mastercarsinc.com.
Hi, it's Julie Buck to tell you about a trusted family business that I've been working with for years, Easter Fence and Deck. Chuck Easter and his family have been the go-to fence and deck company in the St. Louis area for more than 70 years. And when it comes to sunrooms, Easter Fence and Deck offers the top-of-the-line Better Living sunrooms that are absolutely spectacular. When it comes to fences, decks, and sunrooms, I would invite you to do what my family has done for years and trust the family-owned Easter Fence and Deck online at easterfence.com.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Celebrate America's 250th with Star Stripes and Savings at Byerly RV. All month long, purchase any RV and receive a $250 gift card. Plus, with our 2026 model blowout, it's the perfect time to find an RV that fits your family, your adventures, and your budget. Shop a great selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and motorhomes. Don't wait because the summer's almost over and prices may never be this low again. Celebrate freedom, adventure, and the open road at Byerly RV in Eureka.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Trust your classic car's mechanical work to the experts at Auto Art. We offer a classic car care program that includes a free annual inspection plus exclusive discounts on any recommended services repairs. All our work is guaranteed. Visit Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill. Online at autoartstl.com.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
I love a good Rickroll. Whatever happened to poor Rick Ashley?
He's still out there doing it.
When's he going to perform at Riverport? Open up for Night Ranger.
I think he's being choosy about where he performs. He's a big deal.
When's he going to open up for El Monstero?
I know, right?
742 here, Big 550 KTRS. We're getting a lot of texts about this ABC 30 stuff. Look, again, to repeat, it's we're just reading what's being reported, and it's being reported a number of different ways, and it is very confusing. So we're not trying to make it more confusing. It's just confusing. But the gist of it is that ABC affiliate here in St. Louis since the mid-90s has been on ABC 30, and it has been owned by Sinclair for the last number of years. It is now ABC, the network, is decided, apparently their contract was up, and for whatever reason, they've decided to leave Sinclair's ABC 30, and they want to go to Gray Media, which is owned by KMOV. So KMOV has announced that it's either going to be on 32.1 or 4.2. I don't know. I'm reading two different things here. But if you have cable or YouTube TV or Hulu TV or, I don't know, Direct TV or Dish TV, I can't imagine it's going to be anything other than virtually no change. You're not going to see any difference. You might start to see some KMOV personalities start to show up doing news or weather or some other local programming with KMOV sort of logos and things like that. But in terms of ABC programming, you're not going to see any difference. You're still going to see Monday Night Football on, they're going to call it ABC 32, according to J.D. Sosnoff, who runs Gray Media. Now, that's to the listener, that's no big deal, or to the viewer, I don't think you really care that you turn it on and it says ABC 32 versus ABC 30. You still get to see your Dancing with the Stars and make yourself happy
if you can find it.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think the cable places are going to make it hard to find. Might be hard if you have an antenna and you're used to going to wherever it is on your antenna TV, and now you have to go to a different. So that's going to change. The change is supposed to take place September 1st. So a little bit over a month from now.
So there'd be a chance that if you never brought it up, some people may have never noticed the difference.
That is correct. Yes. Yeah. But I think in the larger context of everything, it's interesting because of what's going on in the world of media, right? So you've got Fox 2 and KPLR Channel 11, two channels that are owned by the same people, two news departments kind of sharing the news, but, having different, they're similar, right? And they're sort of run out of the same room, but different. Now they want to bring in Channel 5. The courts are sort of looking at this, and there might be a lawsuit or whatever else. There was, at one point, there was the newsroom in Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 11, and ABC 30. At one point, there were 5 news channels here, or 5 newsrooms. Now there might just be 2, with Fox 2, KPLR, and Channel 5, and then Channel 4 is going to now run the ABC affiliate here. So that's really just 2 newsrooms here in town, which, and again, in all of this, if you want local news, it sounds like Gray Media, who owns Channel 4, is going to be adding local news to an ABC affiliate that didn't have any local news to it. So in a weird way, this consolidation is actually creating more local content, as opposed to people who complain that when you have consolidation, you have less local content. In this weird way, you're going to have more. But also, you've got this Dave Hoffman buying the Post-Dispatch and then the 6 other radio stations from Odyssey. You got to wonder how that thing is going to work out. It has a possibility to be great. Also has a possibility to be a disaster. But we'll just have to wait and see how all that sort of shakes out. So there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to local media. And KTRS keeps on keeping on, don't we? It's like there's a bubble around St. Louis, and we just keep on keeping on. We keep doing our thing. It's a tip of the cap to the gang here at the Big 550 KTRS. But, local all day long is actually a pretty good recipe for us. So we'll keep doing what we do. All right, what are we doing here? Do we have to do traffic and weather? We got to do traffic and weather. Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, take it away.
McGraw, it's getting busy out there now. 270 north is heavy between 44 and Manchester. 5570 west, slow between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. 64 east bogs down at 170. 5570 east is crowded between Exchange and Illinois 111. And 30 east is busy between Ronning and 270 in Sunset Hills. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
The hot and humid weather is set to continue. Sunny, hot, and humid on Monday with a high of 97 and a peak heat index up to 110. Clear skies Monday night as we drop to 80. And then for Tuesday, mostly sunny, hot, and humid with a high of 92 degrees and a peak heat index up around 103. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett for the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, you're right. All you're doing is making more questions. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I'm just telling you what's going on, and I'm trying to explain it to you. ABC 30 is going away. It's now going to be on ABC 32. Sinclair is no longer going to be an ABC affiliate. No word on what ABC or Channel 30 is going to become because it's still got some assets. And then KMOV is going to be owning the ABC affiliate. What's not to understand? Simple. Channel 4 is Channel 9. Channel 5 is Channel 74. What's so confusing? Michael Baldy Electric. I got to call Michael Baldy here in the next week or so. I got to get him come out. Got to fish some lines, maybe an outdoor TV. Maybe I got to get electrical thing from my grill going. Yeah, Michael Baldy will be my first phone call once the deck is finished. He is my electrician on speed dial, proud sponsor of the radio station for years and years and years. He has a full team of electricians ready to go at the quick, whatever you need, whether it's something home improvement, whether you're redoing the kitchen or the basement, or you want to put some extra outlets in the garage. Maybe you need more lights for the Christmas lights, maybe landscaping lights, computer programmings, all those types of things. Michael Baldy is there for you, residential or commercial, every single step of the way. Look, you might need more power for extra air conditioning and things like that. How about a whole home generator? Yeah, Michael Baldy can do it. He can do it all. Fully licensed, fully insured. He's the best. He's got a full team ready to roll. 314-968-9999. 314-968-9999. Baldy Electric, St. Louis's electrical services. Michael Baldy or BaldyElectric.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
St. Louis is a city, but let's face it, it's also a small town, and we all know it, especially Indoor Comfort Team. Since their beginning in 1979, Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning has served their neighbors with old school honesty and integrity, fair and common sense pricing, and fast, reliable service with real human support. When you call them, whether you need a second opinion or a whole new HVAC system, you get a real human being on the other line. No AI, no robot answer machines. From HVAC installations to repairs, even water heaters, Indoor Comfort Team will take care of you. And with summer already upon us, maybe it's time to get that air conditioner checked out. Indoor Comfort Team takes care of our community because they're part of our community. Check them out today at indoorcomfortteam.com. You can also call them at 314-894-8200.
Every summer, homeowners make plans. A new grill, a backyard project, a family vacation. But what about the upgrades you'll enjoy every single day? If your windows are drafty, difficult to open, or your entry and patio door has seen better days, now is the perfect time to make a change. Renewal by Andersen makes replacing windows and doors simple with beautifully crafted products, professional installation, and a customer experience that's second to none. And right now, you'll save big. Get $1,000 off your patio or entry door purchase and take $400 off each replacement window. All you have to do is call 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Again, that's 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post. Then now and go to Bishop's Post. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
McGraw Millhaven on Kate.
Who's this?
Chicago.
Oh, it sounded like Chicago. Yeah. 7:55 here, Big 550 KTRS. I hope you're sitting down for this next story.
Oh.
I mean, get ready to be outraged. Get ready to be outraged. St. Louis Business Journal story over the weekend. The Regional Business Council, which is a group of regional businesses, is taking a more aggressive role in addressing some of St. Louis's biggest, most important issues, including revitalization of downtown and, wait for it, potential reunification of the city with St. Louis County, according to their president and CEO, Karen Branding.
What?
Yes. You know what that means? That means the criminals will just be able to rob all the TVs in the county and then run back into the city. Why would the Regional Business Council be in favor of this? This means, you know what this means? The homeless people might go into the county now.
Oh, man.
Wait till the homeless people read this story. They're going to start panhandling in the county. Next thing you know, they're going to want apartments in Ladue.
Oh.
The organization represents CEOs of 100 of the region's largest employers, have long focused on workforce development, public safety, K through 12 education. Since they've solved all those problems, they're now turning their attention to reunification. We are a CEO circle, and we've come together to act on high impact issues for the region. They want to be more of a catalyst than the lead. So they don't want to lead it. They just want to be behind the guy. They don't want to take the slings and arrows, but they'll be behind the guy who's taking the slings and arrows.
They want to take the great divorce and turn it into the great reconciliation.
They want to turn the city of St. Louis into Clayton. Turn the city of St. Louis into Kirkwood. Turn the city of St. Louis into town and country.
What? So
there would be, I guess, right? You'd still have the mayor. You could still have your own police department. You could still have your own board of aldermen, right? That's just like everyone else. But it would just become an 88th city and a 56th police department. I guess they could merge police departments. No joking aside, seriously, with the state taking over the city of St. Louis's police department, in some ways, again, just throwing this out there, if the city and the county were to reunify, no joking aside, you could say to the city, hey, you know what? We'll just contract with St. Louis County Police. Then that way they would have some control or more control over their police department than the city would.
And then does the mayor and the city council, do they just become one big happy family?
No, the mayor and the city council will, just like the Kirkwood mayor and city council, they have their issues or whatever, right?
But like would the mayor's would it go all the way to the county as well then? Like she is the city and now she's in charge of.
No, the mayor would just be in charge of the city. Yeah, kind of like the Kirkwood mayor would just be in charge of Kirkwood.
Oh.
Right, yeah, but the criminals would be allowed to go all over.
Okay, good.
But Kara Spencer would only have jurisdiction over the city.
Okay.
Yeah, just like Kirkwood only, right? It would just think of the city being just like Kirkwood or Creve Coeur or Weldon
But if the
Spring
city
or
and
anything.
county reunified, would the lines change, like the county line and all that kind of stuff?
No. It would the county would still be the county. The city would be the city. Think of it just like Kirkwood. Right, you have Kirkwood, and then you have unincorporated St. Louis County. You have St. Louis City, and then it's just like Kirkwood. Okay. Sorry, I knew it threw a ratchet in the whole thing. 8 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis. We'll get the traffic and weather on the other side of the news, while Rose tries to wrap her brain around this. 8 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
News. I'm Sherry Preston. First responders rushing to a festival in downtown Seattle as shots ring out. After the gunfire ended, 3 people were dead and 4 were left injured.
A bullet landed into the tree that was right next to us.
Ava Hendricks was at the festival with her family when the gunfire erupted.
It was very scary. And like after the whole thing was over, and we're just waiting for the police to come. And we're just looking at each other like, how are we still alive? How did we make it through that?
One suspect has been taken into custody. Police say another suspect is still on the loose.
That's ABC's Alex Stone on the scene. Among those hurt, police say a 2-year-old boy. A pause in the fighting between the U.S. and Iran as diplomatic efforts continue. Another factor, though, possible depleting numbers of Patriot missiles defensors. ABC's Rachel Scott is in Washington.
Mike Waltz, the president's ambassador to the United Nations, appeared to acknowledge a lot of stockpiles have been depleted, but also said the U.S. has everything it needs to carry out its campaign against Iran. And officials, of course, are also making it clear while the president prefers diplomacy, he can always put military action back on the table, as he has done before.
Remember all the fear over the new world screwworm in cattle supplies. Well, the fear is still out there, but affordability is now a bigger issue. ABC's Jim Ryan is in Dallas, Fort Worth.
A major reason for soaring beef prices is the ban on imports of Mexican livestock imposed last year to keep the parasitic New World screwworm out of the U.S. cattle herd. The screwworm came anyway and has been detected in 42 animals in 15 Texas counties. Now the U.S. is lifting the cattle import ban in hopes of pushing down beef prices.
A massive wildfire in France is no longer growing, the government says, but still a dangerous threat, along with fires burning across Spain as well. Ukrainian President Zelensky will be new British Prime Minister Andy Burnham's first visit today with a foreign leader. You're listening to ABC News.
Every punt, every sack, every touchdown.
Touchdown, Mizzou!
Find all of Mizzou Tigers football action right here on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Did you know Florissant is 240 years old this year? Come out and celebrate 240 years of Florissant at the historic Old St. Ferdinand Shrine. Join the City of Florissant and Old Town Partners for an evening of community and fun. Festivities begin at 5:30 with the unveiling of a 240th anniversary plaque, followed by live music from North Wind's Band at 6 and a family-friendly movie beginning at 7:30. Food and drinks will be available from Knights of Columbus 2951, sponsored by C&B St. Louis Bank and Helfers. Come celebrate Florissant's past, present, and future. We'll see you at the Old St. Ferdinand Shrine.
That's Wednesday, July 29th. Join in the celebration.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
81 degrees at 8:03. Here's what's happening now. Recovery crews will resume searching for a swimmer who went underwater in the Missouri River in southwest St. Charles County yesterday. Authorities say they first received a report of a person in the water near Park between Defiance and Augusta just before 5 yesterday afternoon. Search and rescue crews spent nearly 3 hours searching for the victim before halting their efforts due to darkness. Emergency crews are continuing to clean up and investigate a train derailment near Eureka. 26 cars went off the tracks near Lewis Road and the Crescent Farms golf course just after 5 yesterday afternoon. One of the cars struck a support of the Lewis Road bridge, and crews are inspecting the bridge to check for damage. No injuries were reported in the incident, and no hazardous materials were being transported on the train. St. Louis County is asking voters to approve a use on tax purchases from internet and out-of-state vendors. Proposition U would implement a use tax on par with the county's 3.5% sales tax. If approved, the new tax is expected to generate $74 to $95 million in revenue for the county, which currently has an estimated $53 million deficit. The tax would be in addition to Missouri's existing 4.2% use tax and municipal use taxes in 55 of St. Louis County's 87 municipalities. St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer has joined more than 200 mayors across the county in signing a letter to urge Congress to protect and strengthen SNAP benefits. KTRS's David Solomon has details.
The mayor's letter comes as proposed federal funding changes could threaten food assistance programs in dozens of states. The Trump administration's Big Beautiful Bill passed last year says states could lose federal funding through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program by 2028 if they fail to reduce error rates. USDA Food and Nutrition Service data says Missouri had an 8.67% error rate in the 2025 fiscal year, above the federal 6% benchmark. The mayors are calling on the U.S. Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry to reverse cuts to SNAP and fully fund the program, delay administrative and program cost shifts that impose unsustainable fiscal burdens on states and localities, treat all states equitably by extending the benefit cost shift delay to the 2030 fiscal year for all states, protect SNAP benefit levels and eligibility standards to ensure that vulnerable households are not pushed further into poverty, and enact legislation to effectively transition Puerto Rico from the Nutrition Assistance Program to SNAP. David Solomon, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs, and you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. A developer is seeking a tenant as it looks to redevelop a former University City elementary school building into office space. St. Louis-based Third Man Development is planning on converting the former Del Mar Harvard School at 717 Kingsland Avenue into the Harvard office lofts. Third Man is looking to lease the 24,000 square feet of office space to a single tenant. 81 degrees. Time now is 8:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
That's me. 8:06 here, Big 550 KTRS. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, I have news for you geniuses. We have panhandling in St. Louis County. I think the man missed the joke there. I think you didn't quite get the humor. I was a little too hip for the room. Yes, you have panhandling in St. Louis County. Heck, you even have panhandling in St. Charles County. Who allowed that? Bridges. If you didn't have bridges, you wouldn't have the homeless people. Didn't have any crime in St. Louis County, St. Charles County, if you didn't build the bridges. Am I wrong?
Bridges.
Take down the Daniel Boone Bridge and the Blanchette Bridge. No more crime. Solves that problem. No, it was a joke because there are so many people who are just vehemently opposed to this. They want to take pitchforks to any elected official who even insinuates that we should reunify the city and the county. I mean, it's the first of a simple solution. Doesn't solve all the problems. Might solve one or two of them. Still, it's nothing's a magic bullet. But in terms of one step in the right direction, it's a no-brainer. What would you lose? You lose a lot of the county offices. You wouldn't need a St. Louis City Public Health Department, right? It would be run through the county. Some of those county offices you wouldn't need, whatever county offices there are. The city would still be able to run itself just like Kirkwood, just like Clayton, but it's a no-brainer. The reason why we're talking about this, if you're just joining us, the Regional Business Council just announced, or I don't know if it was announced or it was a story in the St. Louis Business Journal, that they are going to start backing efforts to reunify. This is not Better Together and that whole thing. This is just a simple sort of structural issue where the city would just be one of the municipalities in St. Louis County. So it would just be, I guess we just call it St. Louis County or St. Louis. Now watch the people's heads explode over this deal. Watch the people who are like, no, the city of St. Louis must have a register of deeds. Watch these people. Watch it. Traffic congestion. Do away with traffic congestion. Pollution. Right? My electric bills will go up. I mean, think of the insane reasons why this shouldn't happen. Because, by golly, you must have a register of deeds. And these people in the city will be apoplectic. Or the people in the county will just be outraged that somehow this is going to ruin the idyllic nature of town and country by having the city become the 88th municipality in St. Louis County.
Is Register of Deeds, is that like the license guy? Like remember, didn't we had a gentleman on who was running for, who wanted to be like the license, like
I think
it was license collector.
It was a license collector.
Businesses.
Yeah.
So that's different.
The thing is, the city is a city and a county. And so I think what this would do is it would do away with the county offices because the St. Louis County already has those offices. So the city and the county are just duplicating the same thing. So many of those jobs that are county jobs would just sort of go away because you don't need a county, a city health department because you already have a county health department. So when you're filling out, liquor licenses or you're filling out, whatever, you're serving food, so you have to
permits
be
and all kinds of stuff.
and you have to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure your safety and whatever else, and clean, safety inspections for your restaurants and stuff. All that's run through the county health department. Well, you don't need it in the city if you reunify. So it's some of these jobs, which are patronage jobs and fraught with all sorts of issues, would just sort of go away, and it'd be one step in the right direction. There's really not a good reason why it shouldn't happen. I've yet to find a legitimate reason why, that's true, that would go away.
But we fear change.
You think?
That's the reason.
You think?
It doesn't have to be legit. It just, I fear change.
You think?
If
I fear
the
change.
county and city police departments would merge, who would run it?
St. Louis County.
Well, yes. Does that mean the state would not?
That's I guess, right? Because it would be if the city, like, pick a town that contracts with St. Louis County Police, it would be like that.
Jennings.
Jennings. Okay, it would be like that. Jennings doesn't have a police department. It's contracts with St. Louis County Police Department. So the city, if they contracted with the county police, they would just incorporate and then be run by the county.
Gosh,
The police department. And then I don't know what would happen if you're a St. Louis City police officer, could you transfer over?
Yeah.
That all needs to be worked out and whatever else. The different pay structures, the different
training even, right?
The different union contracts, the different, pensions, and that would all need to be sorted out, obviously. So the police is a much different topic than just reunifying with the city and the county. But I defy anybody to give me a legitimate reason as to why the city should not reunify with the county. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, what about the Hill? What about the Hill? The Hill would still remain there. They're not going to move the Hill to the county, okay? The restaurants will still be in the
They're
Hill.
going to level it and call it the Flat.
What about the Hill? What about the Hill? It's still going to be there.
Place.
It's still going to be there. It's not moving. The Hill is going to be there. Forest Park, it's not going anywhere. They're not going to pick up and move Forest Park somewhere.
But what about the Hill?
What about the Hill? You just can't make this stuff up.
I mean, I'm having trouble. I'm not making fun of anyone else. I'm clearly having trouble wrapping my mind around all of it. And what about the Hill?
The Hill would still remain the Hill.
I just love that's such a great question.
It's a neighborhood. They're going to merge with St. Louis Hills.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Seriously, but seriously though, I understand. But to some people, this is scary, I guess. But it's a no-brainer. But it's so scary that there are elected officials who refuse to answer the question, right? Won't acknowledge it because they're afraid that people will vote against them because, oh my goodness, you're for reunification. Oh, you want the criminals to come to my house. It's so ridiculous.
The bridges.
I mean, our structure of government is so backwards and so antiquated. And maybe it made sense at some point, but now it's with everything going on in the world, it is such a detriment to our region. It's not going to solve everything. It's just a step in the right direction. And I applaud the regional business chamber taking the step and saying, hey, we got to do something, right? These businesses are saying, hey, hold on a second here. Let's just if we can't bite off the whole sandwich, let's just take a bite out of it and just start by reunifying the city and the county. And let's just see if the sky falls. If the sky falls, all right, then we'll stop. But if, God forbid, heaven forbid, it's positive, then maybe 100 years from now, we take another step towards that towards maybe getting retail on Goodfellow in 70.
Meep, meep.
8:15, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, this report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. Dents Express, STL.com. 270 north, but is heavy, but is on the move from Doherty Ferry to Manchester. 30 east is busy between Ronning and 270 in Sunset Hills, and 5570 east is crowded between Exchange and Illinois 111. This traffic report is also brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Night this Friday, July 31st, for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
An extreme heat warning continues until 9 o'clock tonight as our dangerous heat wave rolls on. I'm forecasting 99 this afternoon. That's the hottest of the year so far. The heat index between 110 and 115. Just brutal. Plenty of sunshine today, but a spot storm possible this afternoon and early this evening. Any storms that develop in this heat could be strong. Down to 80 for a very muggy low tonight. The heat not as intense Tuesday, but we're still up there, gang. A high of 92. Heat index between 100 and 105 tomorrow. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, Sam Page versus Kara Spencer. Who wins the boxing match to determine the new leader? Funny you mentioned that. Kara Spencer would win because Sam Page is at the hospital being an anesthesiologist, so she would win by default. No, you see, that's where you're thinking wrong. The county executive would still be the county executive, but Kara Spencer would be like the mayor of Kirkwood, or she would be the mayor of the largest town in St. Louis County if you were to reunify. That's the argument there. 8:14. So you'd still have a mayor of St. Louis, just like you have a mayor of Kirkwood and a mayor of Jennings and a mayor of
St. Charles.
St. Charles is St. Charles County. You'd have the same mayor of Normandy and the mayor of Spanish Lake and
Sunset Hills
and everything else, right? Unlike St. George, which decertified, right? They just became unincorporated St. Louis County. You'd still have a mayor of the city of St. Louis. You would just have the county executive would be control over everything, and the county would then have the services, would pick up the other services in the city, if that makes sense. I know people's heads are exploding. I told you to sit down when I was talking about it. 8:18 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk Piccadilly at Manhattan. St. Louis zone, Piccadilly at Manhattan. On the corner of Piccadilly and Manhattan. It would work like this. Beautiful, mouth-watering variety of American classics. Great wines, great premium liquors, great atmosphere, great neighbors, great friends coming together and enjoying a nice meal and having a nice little cocktail. Piccadilly at Manhattan. It is hot outside, and it is steamy. That's all right. They got plenty of inside seating and great air conditioning, so that's great. Matter of fact, some of those outdoor patios are sort of enclosed with some air conditioning as well, so you don't have to worry about that either. When the weather turns chilly, they got the space heaters, and they always have great food. So what are you waiting for? Piccadilly at Manhattan. Piccadilly at Manhattan, on the corner of Piccadilly and Manhattan, in the Ellendale neighborhood. It's where you want to go. You're never going to run into it by accident. To find out more and for catering, thepiccadilly.com.
Hi, it's Julie Buck to tell you about a trusted family business that I've been working with for years, Easter Fence and Deck. Chuck Easter and his family have been the go-to fence and deck company in the St. Louis area for more than 70 years. And when it comes to sunrooms, Easter Fence and Deck offers the top-of-the-line Better Living sunrooms that are absolutely spectacular. When it comes to fences, decks, and sunrooms, I would invite you to do what my family has done for years and trust the family-owned Easter Fence and Deck online at easterfence.com.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat from Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newsetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
Mark Lawson with Black Fox Cooper, your local Anderson certified contractor. Many homeowners live with old drafty windows for years, thinking they can put it off until later. But once they replace them with new Anderson windows, they often tell me the same thing. I can't believe the difference. Their homes are quieter, more comfortable, and more energy efficient, and the curb appeal is drastically improved. At Black Fox Cooper, homeowners understand their options. Right Anderson windows for their home and budget. Do it today instead of tomorrow. Call 314-270-1484. Online, blackfoxcooper.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at PermajackofStLouis.com. That's PermajackofStLouis.com. Permajack, solid as rock.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, the city police could stay the city police just like any other municipality. Same with the fire department. Yes, that is true. What happened to the Stephen Roberts segment? He is summer hours. He's on at 7:05, but that's going back to now regular hours, right?
Next week, he'll be back at 7:50.
7:50, yeah. The city of Chicago is in Cook County. St. Louis City would just be another municipality in the county. Anything to get our demographic numbers more representative of our true population. Easy peasy. Yes. I remember years ago, you had a guy on and he said there were only two cities that did not reside in a county in the United States, Detroit and St. Louis. And the guy had great reasons for why we need to get this merger to start happening. So they're moving the arch to the county?
Yes.
Technically, I guess the arch would go, it would still be in the city.
But in the County of the city.
It would be. It's still in a county. It would be in the St. Louis City and St. Louis County.
Would it lose its state park status?
One leg would be in the city. One leg would be in the county.
Yes.
What would happen to the Mississippi River? What happens to the Mississippi River? Does that then change? Does that move?
It drains immediately.
In East St. Louis County?
Are they moving the arch to the county? Just like always, you have the microphone, so you're right. I apologize. I don't. If you listen to the show for more than 5 minutes, I'm the most wrong talk show host in America. I get called out more than anybody else in the world, and I allow it to happen. So I love this. Oh, you have the microphone, so you're right. What are you talking about? We don't screen any phone calls. We don't screen any texts. You guys make fun of me all the time. Everybody makes fun of me, but you waited to take the microphone and just come on, man.
What time is it, McGraw?
8:25. Channel 11 news no longer exists. It's Channel 2 news now, or Channel 11 at the same time or replayed. Channel 11 news exists. It's on Channel 11. Even though like Jeff Bernthal shows up on 2, he shows up on 11. Fowler.
Jeff.
Is Jeff Fowler? Jeff.
I thought the weather guy was
Bob Fowler. No, that's
Rich.
Bob Fowler. Rich. No, that's Fowler. What's Fowler's first name? The nicest man you'll ever meet. I mean, certifiably nice. The nicest man, even though I forget his first name right now. Bob Fowler? Steve Fowler?
Jeff.
Roberto Fowler?
Jeff.
Guillermo
I like
Fowler?
that. Cole Mamo?
John Fuller.
John Fuller. Thank you very much.
Oh, God.
John Fuller. Sorry, John.
Fuller is Channel 11's weather guy.
Sorry, John. John Fuller, the nicest man in the
He's
world.
fantastic.
Not there are people as nice as him. No. John Fuller, the nicest man in America. Usually weathermen usually are. Except for
Why do you think that is?
Except for a few. No, I don't know. They they geek out over the weather. So
I went to school with Chris Higgins. He is a weather nerd. Honestly, weather nerd.
Oh yeah. No, these guys, God love them. Yeah.
So Chris is the guy at 2, and John Fuller is the guy at 11.
Yeah, but the newsroom.
But sometimes they mix.
But they've merged the newsroom together. So the Channel 11 news still exists. It exists on Channel 11.
Wait, you went to high school with
College at SLU.
And I went to high school with
Angela
Huddy. We've got quite a meteorologist.
I went to college with Jeff Putnam.
And Liz Mulholland.
No, I went to high school with Liz Mulholland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Liz.
Liz blew it. She blew it.
Does she have any idea? Regret.
She could be living in the city and the county at the same time. Just to let you know, the county functions of the city. So what would go away? The circuit attorney, I'm assuming, the circuit clerk, the collector of revenue. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to collect the revenue anymore. You understand that? They're just going to have the county collector of revenue collect the revenue. You understand, right, how that would work. License collector would go away. Public administrator would go away. You know what the public administrator does? He handles estates for people who left no wills.
Oh, gosh.
That job goes away.
What about Gregory FX Daly?
He's collector of revenue, I believe.
They'll still need somebody to collect your money.
Is he an actual person?
Yes.
FX Daly. Like,
yeah, I love
I've been
that.
writing him checks.
I know. It's the craziest thing. I'm supposed to write a check to a guy for my water bill? What? For my taxes?
I always write collector of revenue on it instead of putting.
What does FX stand for? I'm really
Francis Xavier.
Yeah, God love him.
Fantastic.
Public administrator goes, a recorder of deeds, the sheriff and the treasurer would go away. All of that would be done by St. Louis County functions. And again, this is just broadly based, but the reason why we brought it up is this regional business council is now apparently going to start to lead. They specifically said they don't want to lead, but they want to encourage, they want to support the conversation of reunifying the city and the county. So there you go. Maybe we'll talk about it next hour. 8:30, Big 550 KTRS. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, would my apartment be in the city or the county? My cousin is Steve Templeton. Do we have all the weathermen covered?
Keep it coming.
618, you're right. John Fuller is the nicest man. No, he really is. Captain Paul Kotsky, nowhere near as nice as John Fuller. In the same room, but not as nice as John Fuller. Captain Paul, take it away.
All right, not much happening on the roads right now. McGraw 270 North is moving without delays from South County to Town and Country. 5570 East is running at about 40 miles per hour between Exchange and Illinois 111. And the signals are dark at Gravois and Valcourt, and they are on flash at Gravois and Spring. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st, for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Viviano sponsors traffic and weather. It's going to be hazy, hot, and humid. Check on mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, neighbors, the dog, the cat, everybody. High of 97 today with the heat indices up over 100. Extreme heat warning through 9 p.m. tonight. It's going to be nasty overnight as well. Low of 80 tomorrow, more of the same, but high of 90 tomorrow, so we get a little bit of a reprieve with the temperature, though I don't know if we'll notice it. Right now, it's 83 degrees. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Mediators have made progress in efforts to bring the United States and Iran back to negotiations and prevent an all-out war in the Middle East, according to 2 regional officials. This comes after a pause in attacks, with neither the U.S. nor Iran reporting any strikes for 3 days. The U.S. has paused attacks after targeting Iranian areas in response to Iran firing at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Police are searching for a second suspect after gunfire erupted at a crowded food festival beneath Seattle's Space Needle. 2 men and a woman died and 4 were wounded, including a toddler, around 6 p.m. yesterday. Another suspect was arrested last night and remains in police custody. The shooting happened at the end of the annual Bite of Seattle festival. In local headlines, Phase 2 of Metrolink's next generation fare system goes online today. The 13 additional stations joined 13 stations that went online July 6. The new program allows riders to tap a fare card or pass or scan a QR code at validators at the security gates to enter the platform, and automatically caps fares once the daily, weekly, or monthly pass rate has been reached. If you're looking to save time by voting early in St. Louis County, you now have the ability to make an appointment. The St. Louis County Board of Elections is taking appointments to vote early at its headquarters at 725 Northwest Plaza Drive in St. Anne. Appointments can be made at the Board of Elections website. 81 degrees. Time now is 8:32. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Aluminum shapes the world around us, keeping our homes cool, our cars moving, and our supply chains humming. From their global headquarters in St. Louis, Metal Exchange has been helping to make it happen for over 50 years. But they're more than an aluminum company.
At their core, Metal Exchange takes a we before me approach by putting people first at work and in our community. That's why this month they're teaming up with Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis for Christmas in July, collecting toys and bringing joy to local families. Learn more about how Metal Exchange is impacting our world at metalexchange.com.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Randy Carricker joins us. Randy Carricker of Matrix Midwest, soon to be ABC 32. We were just talking about that. And, of course, let's talk a little baseball here. I don't know. Cardinals 22,000 said they showed up yesterday. I don't know if they were counting a couple of vendors there as well.
22,000 tickets sold, but then maybe 17,000 decided it's too hot. I'm not doing it.
I was looking at the highlights. I was like, well, there's no one in the outfield.
And I wouldn't have been there either.
No, holy mackerel.
Man. Holy cow.
Those are true Cardinal fans who went to the game.
That being said, when things were rolling, and this was pre-pandemic, there were a lot of hot days where 35, 40,000 showed up on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
But I think it's hotter than it's ever been. And people's habits have changed. It used to be a habit to go to a Cardinal game, right?
Yeah.
And that for a lot of people is not a habit anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that center field sun or right field sun is brutal.
Even the tarps off guys weren't there yesterday. Yeah.
God love them. Hey, can we talk about the SEC?
Sure.
Because they had their SEC sort of preseason news conference or the convention or whatever, and they're openly saying we're going to leave the NCAA.
So they're talking about it.
Yeah.
And I know they don't want to do it, but McGraw, it would be awesome. So, and I've already got it set up. So you've got 4 divisions, okay? So 4 team divisions, and I've got a schedule and everything. But you could just say, okay, our championship game is the national championship game, and you can develop better rivalries. You can use the most powerful conference in America. All due respect to the Big Ten, ESPN still loves the SEC more than they love the Big Ten. I think that if they can't get the NCAA to see things their way in terms of rules, and that's what they're upset about, is that there's different rules and it's the Wild West. And if the SEC says, okay, well, we're just going to have our own league and our own rules, I think it'd be brilliant.
And so would they play other teams or they just play SEC teams?
No, you just play 12. And I talked to Eli about this, and he thought it was a good idea, so I like this. So here's the way I would
Eli Drink was the coach of the manager, coach of the
Mizzou Tigers. So here's my thought: is you have 2 conferences. You have the Bear Bryant division and a conference and the Bud Wilkinson conference, and then we would be in the North division. And for example, we'd have Vandy and Tennessee and somebody else in our division. So you play 3 games in your division, then you play the other division in your conference once. every year. So
Right.
that's 7 of your games. And then you play a division in the other conference every other year. So now you're up to 11. And then the one division that you have not played, you play the team that finished in the exact same position. Second place, play second place from last year,
Right.
third place, 12 games.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 teams, your division winners make the playoffs, to have 2 wild cards. You end your regular season on Thanksgiving weekend, have a bye. And then the second weekend in December, you go from 8 to 4. The third weekend in December, you go from 4 to 2 teams. And then the night after the Super Bowl, you play your championship game.
Okay, so what you're talking about is not a college conference breaking away from the NCAA. What you're talking about is a rival to the NFL.
Essentially, yes, which is what college football is now. And
Well, it's one step below that, but
like the SEC is better than the UFL.
Well,
Right? It
that's-
is. The football's better. And all due respect to the UFL.
Right.
But the SEC is just better, and it just means more. And I think the Big Ten could do this too, and they could have their own thing, and they could put theirs on Fox. So I think that that's a possibility, simply because the NCAA is toothless, and every time they try to make a rule, somebody files a lawsuit against them, like
Right.
the eligibility rule now. People are trying, players that now would be heading into a 5th year say, no, we deserve a 6th year.
Right.
Because the rule is new and they want to be grandfathered in. So the new rule, for people that aren't aware of it, the NCAA said you have 5 years to play 5 seasons of sports,
Right.
but then you're done.
Right.
There are no medical red shirts. There are no there are no changes here. Nothing will allow you to play a 6th year.
Right. What about, this is all coming down to the salaries too, right? I mean, salaries are through the roof.
Right. Well, there was a story in The Athletic this weekend that the average college basketball's payroll this year in the power teams is going to be $30 million.
For the players.
For the players.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 things. Number one, there's a guy on Florida that's going to make $10 million this year. And this is the best one ever. LeBron signed for $3.9 million a year on Friday with the Sixers.
Yeah.
There are going to be 18 Division I players that are making more money than LeBron James this year.
And so the SEC is saying, look, we want to create a salary cap and collective bargaining for the players and all of that stuff, and we can't do that if we're beholden to the NCAA.
Exactly, because any lawsuit that applies to the NCAA applies to the SEC. Well, if the SEC says, nope, we're off on our own, you do you,
right? Then
the SEC can pretty much, they can desire to do. The quality of the football would be great. They'd make a lot of money by being out on their own. The big problem, I think, would be the non-revenue sports, because you get revenue from men's basketball and football. So how do you finance your baseball team, your gymnastics team, your volleyball team, all of those different entities? Because there is a lot of money that comes to the NCAA from the men's basketball tournament.
Right. And they couldn't just leave football couldn't leave, but then keep the rest of the SEC and the NCAA for all the other sports.
No, you'd
have to leave.
Yeah, the NCAA would not allow
You
that.
wouldn't, right? So the baseball SEC would have to live on its own. And
And in listening to Greg Sankey last week at the media days, the explanations he gave were very rational. And I think any rational person would say, yeah, that's the right thing to do. But then the NCAA, either they try it or they're afraid of being sued, so they don't even try.
I mean,
anymore.
the SEC is openly discussing this. I mean, they did not shy away from these questions.
No. So at the first media day, the SEC meetings back in the spring, Kirby Smart, the head football coach at Georgia, said, I bring this up to my president all the time. We should just bail. We should get out of here.
Right.
And then Greg Sankey was asked, the commissioner of the SEC last week, are these discussions real? And he said, yeah, they're real. We're having these discussions because they don't know what the NCAA, A, is going to be, and B, what they're going to be capable of doing. If they aren't, then the SEC will say, yeah, we'll just do it ourselves.
What has Mizzou said, or Eli Drinkwitz? Have they said one thing or the other?
I don't think that Mizzou would be averse to this. And they're still kind of a lower tier team in terms of their level of power and influence in the SEC. But I don't think that they believe it's a bad idea. Now, one of the problems would be if you have to play SEC teams every single week and you don't get 3 non-conference games, if you don't get Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Kansas, you better up your game significantly. And I think Mizzou's doing that. The North End Zone Project, they're making a lot of money. They need more in terms of revenue from boosters, but they're capable of doing it. But that'd be my biggest concern,
Well,
is
but
having to play an SEC team every week.
Right, but you wouldn't need to pad your schedule with the Patsies because a 6-4 team might make the playoffs or might make a wild card.
Yeah, you want to be one of the top 4 teams in the Bud Wilkinson Conference.
Right, yeah, or 7-4 or whatever it is. It's crazy to think about it, but.
Well, who would have thought that we would have Oregon and UCLA in the Big Ten? Or, it's and here's the best one. And we've talked about this before, but the fact that Cal and Stanford are in the Atlantic Coast Conference is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous.
And all of those kids who have learned all this geography over the years,
right?
All these really smart Cal and Stanford kids are saying, "Wait, we're in the Atlantic Coast Conference."
The whole thing is ridiculous. I mean, maybe if it's a Big Ten, SEC sort of National League, American League, AFC, NFC, and the two champions play each other in a Super Bowl of something. But I mean, we're basically creating a secondary pro football league.
And one of the reasons that I don't think it'll happen with the Big Ten, Tony Petitti is the commissioner of the Big Ten Conference, Greg Sankey, as we mentioned, the SEC. And those two are at loggerheads now because the Big Ten wants to expand the current playoff from 12 teams to 24. The SEC wants to max out at 16. The reason the Big Ten wants to do it is, the SEC is saying 14, because anything beyond 14 teams, then Fox TV can get involved. And the SEC is in bed with ESPN. And so they just want to keep it at 14 so that they don't tick off ESPN. And they wouldn't mind the money, but they're happy with what they've got.
So this is a battle royale between Fox and ESPN.
And
in a sense.
At the end of the day, you're exactly right. That's what it comes down to, is TV money.
That's why Randy Carricker is the goods. Randy Carricker, who's your sponsor?
It's our friend Ryan Raphael. He is the Medicare man, and he does such an amazing job, McGraw, of people that are either needing Medicare or getting ready to retire. And one thing about Ryan Raphael that you might not realize is that what he does for you, it's free, because he is a guy that is a broker. So if you want some great advice about Medicare, he's the guy when it comes to explaining it. If you or a family member is turning 65 and you want to know about Medicare plans, he's the guy. If anything changed for you with your current plan, he's the guy. Supplements, pharmaceuticals, an Advantage plan. Ryan Raphael knows all about it, and he can help you out. He is the Medicare man at 314-368-6808, 314-368-6808, or online at MedicareManSTL.com.
Captain Paul Kopsky, take it away. St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, not much happening on the roads right now. We have construction with lane closures in the Metro East, but right now it's not causing delays. There's road work on 5570 West between 255 and Illinois 203. We have more road work on 5570 East between Illinois 111 and Fairmount. And the signals are on flash at Gravois and Spring in South City, also at 141 and Pritchard Farms. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
The hot and humid weather is set to continue. Sunny, hot, and humid on Monday with a high of 97 and a peak heat index up to 110. Clear skies Monday night as we drop to 80. And then for Tuesday, mostly sunny, hot, and humid with a high of 92 degrees and a peak heat index up around 103. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Kristen Cornett for the Big 550 KTRS.
Bowen Dental Care, Boain. That's how you spell it. And located in two locations, South County off Lee May Ferry Road and on Dunn Road up in North County. Implants are a big deal. And why would you go to a corporate dentist and meet with the finance person 4 times before ever meeting with the dentist? What you want to do is you want to go to Dr. Bowen. He will meet with you and consult with you and figure out what's the best course of action, and he'll be there every single step of the way. That's the difference between the corporate dentist, one of the differences between the corporate dentists and Dr. Bowen. His bedside manner, the whole staff there is wonderful. He also looks like Derek Huff. So if you wouldn't mind hanging out with Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars for a couple of hours, Dr. Bowen is your man. The prices, the corporates charge you $35,000, $40,000, $50,000. At Dr. Bowen, the same procedure starts at $7,000. And whether it's a full mouth extraction, a one-tooth problem, Dr. Bowen is there to help you every single step of the way. That's why he's so successful, and that's why he's been successful with the family dentistry for all these many years. Bowen, Boain, the website to find out more, simply securedentures.com.
Why leave for vacation when your favorite destination could be your own backyard? I'm Jill Farmer for Patriot Build Sunrooms. Transform your deck or patio into the perfect place to relax and make memories with a Patriot sunroom, screen room, patio cover, power shades, outdoor kitchen, or any idea you can come up with. Patriot's designers and craftsmen have helped over 10,000 homeowners create stunning backyard living spaces. Save thousands with a free insulated roof upgrade. Call today for your free design consultation, 314-822-3232 or patriotbuildsstl.com.
All July long, we're making room for new inventory with special blowout pricing on select new 2026 RVs. Don't miss this once-in-a-decade opportunity to save on travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. We may never see pricing this low again. Shop our huge selection and remember, at Byerly RV, the price you see is the price you pay with no additional dealer fees. Don't miss the 2026 model year blowout going on all month long at Byerly RV in Eureka.
Byerly RV.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Classic cars are meant to be driven, and like any vehicles, they require regular maintenance. Our experts will help keep you and your classic on the road. Fall in love with your car again. Visit Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill, online at autoartstl.com.
Every summer, homeowners make plans. A new grill, a backyard project, a family vacation. But what about the upgrades you'll enjoy every single day? If your windows are drafty, difficult to open, or your entry and patio door has seen better days, now is the perfect time to make a change. Renewal by Andersen makes replacing windows and doors simple with beautifully crafted products, professional installation, and a customer experience that's second to none. And right now, you'll save big. Get $1,000 off your patio or entry door purchase and take $400 off each replacement window. All you have to do is call 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Again, that's 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with a mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
Now back to McGraw, presented by London Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Apropos of absolutely nothing, minding my own business the other day, driving through Chesterfield Valley. On my way out to, you have that, what is that? Is that airport, Chesterfield Airport Road on your way to Spirit Airport out there?
There's Long Road, then there's Airport.
Yeah, just past the Long Road. There's that Portafab company, which is an unbelievable company. You're like, what does a Portafab do? They build like movable walls. It's crazy business.
I thought it was Fabulous Porta Potties.
No, that's different. And then they've got that new studio where like they come and practice the concerts there, whatever they're calling that
Chris
thing.
Brown and Usher were there 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then they have a building that they're building. I've been watching them build. It looks like it's a big building, and they just recently put the. I was like, boy, I wonder what's going in there, and they just recently put up a Meanies Fulfillment Center.
There's already a Meanies out there.
Yeah, there's right with the Golden Dome or whatever. Yeah, but there's another building. Then they're calling it the Amini's Fulfillment Center, which I don't know what that means exactly. But I'm driving by. I'm like, I didn't know there was all this money in pool tables.
I was going to say, like, clearly there's.
And still, I mean, Space Invaders is still going strong. I mean,
they do have some cool stuff. It looks like.
I love going to Meanies and kind of getting lost in there.
Do they have old school stuff, or it's all new? Like they wouldn't have those table like remember those old Pac-Man games that it was a table.
Yeah,
so
they got those.
They have those.
Yeah, they got them all there. Yeah, pinball machines, old school pinball machines,
and they have the card tables
and every pool table known to man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then they have a fulfillment center, which was like.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Fulfill all the orders?
I guess, and I don't know. But I don't know. But I was just
you buy it at the Dome and then you pick it up.
I don't know. But it was just a fulfillment center. I was like, man, who knew there was all this money in billiards?
Yeah, right.
So God love them. I guess they sort of sell outdoor furniture too.
Yeah, they do all kinds.
And,
right? It's
and
all
hot tubs, I guess they kind of sell. And outdoor furniture, sort of a hodgepodge of
fun stuff.
Yeah.
That I can't afford.
And then,
never could afford.
And then I think of all the political ads that are out there, I think they're all terrible. But there's one that I think is really, really good, and just through nothing other than just watching the news, it's the one. Where and I'm assuming it's Wesley Bell, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a PAC that's supporting him or if it's actually his campaign, but it's Cori Bush, and the reporter asks the question, so are you supporting Kamala Harris? And she says, I don't know. And it's like, if Cori Bush can't support Kamala Harris, then, what are we doing type of deal?
I think that's a PAC.
Is it a PAC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just saw it like a half hour ago.
That commercial is very effective.
And it has a lot of MAGA and Trump imagery in it.
Is
saying
it? Okay.
that she's aligned with him because she wasn't supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Well, you could make that argument.
The tagline is Cori Bush is only out for herself.
Apparently you wrote the ad.
I know. I just saw it like 20 minutes ago.
But that is a great ad to sort of paint her as I don't know, anti-democratic or anti-whatever. But it's just a great ad to sort of paint her as anti-Kamala Harris in a very Democratic district, right? it isn't like she's running for Ann Wagner's spot, which would, if she was running in Ann Wagner's spot, then that ad would, that whatever, you know what I'm saying. But the fact that she's running against a Democrat in the primary, and the ad is, you wouldn't support Kamala Harris. I don't know. I think it's a great ad to run. We'll see if it works.
Forgot about the $60,000 rugs at Amini's too, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out.
That's better than the, talking donkey with the Amendment 5 deal or any of those other ones.
Donkey's good.
I haven't seen the donkey one. They might have pulled that one. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw 270 West is congested from the Canal Bridge just west of Illinois Route 3 to the Chain of Rocks Bridge. And this traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st. for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Please, what is the name of your arborist? Ben Barnett, Timberline Tree Care. Ben Barnett, Timberline Tree Care. Ben Barnett, Timberline Tree Care. Ask about the donuts when you call them. 9 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. 3 dead, 4 hurt, and 1 person in custody. That's the nation's mass shooting in Seattle happening. ABC's Jeff Pogula with more.
This happened during the Bite of Seattle Food Festival. Gunfire erupted shortly after 6 p.m., causing the crowd to scatter. Witnesses describe a chaotic scene.
We saw a few people going to a building, so we went in there, and we went down the stairs, and we just hid in the garage.
A young child is among the wounded, Assistant Police Chief Tyrone Davis.
One of the 4 victims that was taken to the hospital was a toddler.
Detectives believe 2 people were shooting at each other. 1 suspect is in custody. Jeff Pogula, ABC News, Seattle.
Across the middle part of the country, extreme temperatures are building under another heat dome. Here's ABC meteorologist Leslie Lopez.
The heat index climbing up to about 108 degrees. We have that through Wichita. We have it to the south, all the way up to the Midwest, getting into areas of New Orleans, even down to 105 degrees. It's either a heat alert, a heat advisory, or a heat watch.
The extreme heat in Central Europe has helped wildfires grow and led to 300,000 evacuations in France and Spain. ABC's Marcus Moore is along the fire line in Spain.
The air is dry here, and there's a constant breeze. It's these exact conditions that are driving some of these fires right now. We're just west of Madrid right now, and this is as far as police are letting anyone go because they say parts of the Avila fire, the largest in this country's history, have flared back up again.
Fighting in Iran on hold as diplomatic efforts take place once again. Mediators say they have achieved progress in getting both sides back to the table.
Oil prices were down overnight thanks to that pause in attacks between the U.S. and Iran. Drivers here at home looking for relief, with gas prices in the last week rising an average of 12 cents to $4.11 per gallon.
ABC's Karen Waugh in Washington. The Odyssey continues captivating audiences. It's earned an estimated $639 million so far. You're listening to ABC News.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
This has been the talk of St. Louis for 30 years, and we aren't stopping now.
We are the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis.
Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 83 degrees at 9:03. 2 people are dead after a wrong-way accident on Interstate 64 near downtown St. Louis last night. St. Louis Metropolitan Police say a motorist entered the highway at Forest Park Avenue traveling eastbound in the westbound lanes before colliding with another vehicle near Jefferson just before 11:40 p.m. Both vehicles caught fire in the collision. Police say both drivers were pronounced dead and a passenger in the wrong-way vehicle was transported to an area hospital with serious injuries. The major case squad is looking for a suspect in the murder of a 16-year-old in Cahokia Heights. Cahokia Heights police say Lamarion L. Davis of Washington Park was fatally shot in the 1100 block of Camp Jackson Road just before 8 last night. Davis was shot multiple times and was pronounced dead at the scene. Anyone with any information on the incident is being asked to call the major case squad at 618-931-5100 or contact Crime Stoppers. Illinois is launching a new program aimed to improve communication during traffic stops for motorists with autism. The Blue Envelope program will allow motorists on the autism spectrum to hand the officer an envelope containing relevant information, including their driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, while signaling the officer that the motorist may need a different method for communication. Participation is voluntary, and the program goes into effect statewide on January 1st. The nation's premier collegiate solar car race will be stopping in the Metro East today. KTRS's David Solomon has more.
More than 20 collegiate solar car teams will be stopping at SIU Edwardsville today as part of the Electrek American Solar Challenge 2026. The teams are traveling on a more than 1,500-mile road course along the Great River Road and historic Route 66 over 8 days. The teams will begin arriving at SIUE, roughly the midpoint of the race, at 2 this afternoon. While the cars are stopped in Edwardsville, SIUE will hold a festival from 5 until 8 tonight, featuring a photo booth experience, a DJ, and food trucks. The public is then invited to come out tomorrow when the cars will depart Edwardsville in staggered intervals starting at 9 a.m. David Solomon, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs, and you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. You can tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 right here on the Big 550. The Dow is up 420 points to 52,400. The S&P is up 29 points to 7,500. And the NASDAQ is up 93 points to 25,100. In KTRS Sports, Kyle Leahy allowed 2 runs and struck out a career-best 9 batters in 6 innings, but Matt Swanson allowed 3 runs in the 10th inning, and the Cardinals fell to the Cincinnati Reds 5-3 yesterday. The Cards have lost 7 of their last 9 games and open a 4-game series against the Chicago Cubs tonight at Busch Stadium. And Tomas Ostrak scored in the 83rd minute to lead St. Louis City to a 1-0 win over the Colorado Rapids at Energizer Park Saturday night. City is unbeaten in its last 7 matches. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic, let's check in with Captain Paul Kopsky in the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
And Rose 270 West is congested from the Canal Bridge just west of Illinois Route 3 and the Chain of Rocks Bridge. The signals are dark and on flash at Gravois and Spring in the city and at 141 at Pritchard Farm. And all westbound 64 and northbound 61 lanes at the 70-64 interchange will be closed overnight from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's tonight through Thursday for bridge work. This traffic report is brought to you by Westport Plaza. Don't miss the Westport Plaza Family Movie Night this Friday, July 31st for a free showing of The Sandlot. Face painting, concessions, stage show, and then the movie. Bring an unwrapped toy for families in need and get a free Disney on Ice ticket. That's the free family movie night at Westport Plaza this Friday, July 31st, presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, an extreme heat warning remains in effect for the KTRS listening area until 9 this evening. Sunny today with a high near 100, heat indices reaching 115. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 80, and tomorrow mostly sunny with a high near 92 and heat indices around 102. Currently 84 degrees at 9:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
550 KTRS St. Louis. Live and local. Depend on it. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
One week from tomorrow is going to be the election day for the primaries here in Missouri. All sorts of things. Matter of fact, no excuse absentee balloting going on right now. We're going to talk to a couple of other politicians throughout the week. Right now, though, Fred Wellman is running for the Democratic primary, the only Democratic seat left in the state of Missouri. It is going to go up against ultimately. I'm sorry, that's the Ann Wagner seat, right? That's
yes,
Ann,
it is.
yeah, that's
Missouri
the Ann Wagner seat. I apologize. No, that's the Wesley Bell is the one Democratic one. You're going
Correct.
up to the primary ultimately to take on Ann Wagner. Fred Wellman joins us here for a couple minutes. Fred, welcome to the Big 550 KTRS.
Great to be here. I've been listening for years. I appreciate the opportunity.
You got it. Why in the world would you want to become an elected official?
Service has been the story of my life. I grew up in Kirkwood, was a lifeguard as a kid, went to West Point, 22 years in the Army, 4 combat tours, got out of that, decided we had a challenge with our veterans community, ran a veterans advocacy firm for 10 years. When COVID hit, I went to New York and ran a COVID field hospital staffed by Special Operations veterans. I stepped up after that into politics, helping with the Lincoln Project. I mean, my story has always been when I see a challenge, I kind of try to, I go to the sound of the guns, if you will. And last spring, when they passed the big billionaire bill, I call it, I saw the damage it was going to do to our district. I saw how much damage it was doing to my own kids. And I always talk about the split screen moment. And the split screen moment was that weekend they passed it in the Senate was Jeff Bezos's $56 million wedding in Venice. And I was just thinking to myself, the billionaires are partying, having a great time. And meanwhile, our elected officials are taking away a lot of the strong floor that's made America what it is today. And I decided, I could do more than talk to a camera or talk on social media. I could run. And here I am.
Talk about your 3 tours of duty. Was it 3 or 4 tours? 4 tours of duty.
Yes, sir.
Did you keep going back? Did they keep on drafting you?
Yeah, I'm a
Did you fall on your head? What happened there?
Actually, it's funny. You join, and I did 13. So I did Desert Storm as the scout helicopter pilot with the 24th Infantry Division, the big left hook. And then I actually went in reserves right before 9/11, 2000. I was living in Georgia. And when 9/11 hit, I got called that day. I volunteered to go back in the Army, regular Army, ended up the 101st Airborne Division, ended up invading Iraq a second time. Wow, this feels familiar. I've been here before. And, marched to Baghdad, then on to Mosul. I went back 2 more times serving. Again, I wanted to take care of people. I wanted to serve my country in their time of need. I actually ended up building schools and clinics for the Iraqis as much as anything else. So, I love serving my country. I loved wearing that flag on my shoulder. I love saying I was a part of the legendary 101st Airborne Division, So I really enjoyed, and I got so much out of my service. West Point, they sent me to Harvard, for God's sake. I mean, this guy went to Harvard. I mean, I was very blessed in my 20 years of service.
Why pick this race? Why not go up against Wesley Bell or why?
I
other?
I live in the district. I grew up in Kirkwood. I live in Wildwood. It's my home district. It's my home. It's funny when I moved back here, you'll laugh. I've moved back 5 years ago for my fiance and immediately started hitting Ted Drews and Lion's Choice and emos, right? So I gained a bunch of weight. My doctor's like, you gotta go walk, bro. So I walked, and I ended up walking, ironically, most of this district, St. Francis Mountains, St. Charles, everywhere. It's a beautiful, beautiful place with wonderful, decent people who need representation. And Ann Wagner has forsaken that duty to her people. So I love this district. I love Missouri. Representing my hometown is an honor, and I'm looking forward to giving that shot.
What are the people asking you? What's the topic?
Man, McGraw, every single conversation is, I'm worried about my kids. I can't tell you how often I hear the same thing. I'm worried about, if in Kirkwood, it's like, my kids can't afford to live in Kirkwood. In Pacific, it's my kids can't afford to leave Pacific. You know what I mean? It is a very, very tough time for a whole generations, 2 generations. It's a tough time for our seniors. Everyone's having a hard time making ends meet. And Anna Wagner has, completely forgotten that. She has quadrupled her net worth in Congress. She's worth $26 million, according to Quiver Analytics. She's done very well for herself, and that's great. But I'm worried about the working people who are living paycheck to paycheck, and no one seems to be caring about them. So I've been in their shoes. I've had tough times. I understand what it's like to be scared for your family's future. That's what I'm running for.
Fred Wellman wants to be your congressman's 2nd district. He has to get through the primary first, and then he takes on Ann Wagner in the general election. Amendment 5, what do you think? What do you say?
No, hard no. This is a transfer of wealth. Right now, 41% of Missourians don't even pay income tax. Be them seniors or they're below the poverty line, whatever the reason may be. They will be paying taxes now, and they'll be paying a lot of taxes. And the idea that you get to choose what you get taxed on is ridiculous. I have to eat. I have to drive my car. I have to rent a home. So the idea that we're going to give this legislature 5 years to tax whatever they feel like, I have a big thing I say a lot, McGraw. I was like, I don't believe in trust me, bro policy. And right now what they're saying in this amendment is, trust me, bro, it's going to be great. Give us 5 years to do whatever we want. It's going to be great. I'm sorry, I don't trust them.
So you're with the St. Charles County executive race, right?
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Interesting how it's getting a lot of Democratic and Republican.
I think a lot of people figured out they're being taken advantage of. That we're not being told the truth. Right now, people are looking for genuine honesty. It's one of my big things. When I decided to run, I said, look, I'm going to run as me, Fred Wellman, with all those. I'm 60 years old. And if that gets me a win, great. If it doesn't, at the end, I'm still me.
Where are you on data centers?
Data centers, my frustration with data centers, I'm not a Luddite in the sense. I see that there's people like our friends in the unions, especially like sheet metal workers, that want to build them. There's towns that want the money. But in the end, my frustration right now is that these huge billion-dollar corporations are dropping into rural spaces, small towns like Pacific, with billions of dollars, and without any checks or balances on them at all. The idea that public officials are signing NDAs, hiding their official work from the people they represent, is offensive. So I believe we have to have very, very strong guardrails and rules in place. Right now, the Trump administration, for example, is trying to sue states from even regulating AI data center building. We have to have federal regulations, EPA regulations, water protection. What we have right now are billion-dollar corporations coming into small areas and stealing their resources without any checks on them. And I have a problem with that.
Your district, if you win the primary, your district is very, some of it is at least very pro Donald Trump.
Very much.
What would you say is a positive or positives? Where do you agree with President Trump?
On almost nothing. But that's not the issue. The issue is, what do you want to represent you? Someone who understands the challenges we face right now, the economic challenges we face right now, the healthcare challenges we face right now, sees the corruption occurring without check from this Congress. I'm running for Congress, not against Donald Trump, right? I'm running against Ann Wagner. My job is going to be to replace Ann Wagner and immediately get to work for the people of Missouri's 2nd district. That's why I call myself a Missouri Democrat. My job is to work for all 750,000. I don't care what party they are. I will answer their emails. I will take their calls. And right now, they're not getting represented in Washington, D.C. So we have to agree on that. And I've had conversations with a lot of Republicans. Look at me. I'm a white guy, 60, veteran, I can get into places a lot of folks can't. And I've had very real conversations with people saying, yeah, Ann Wagner needs to go. I can't get hold of her. She brings no money home to our cities. We need a replacement in Congress. Donald Trump is not, what I have to deal with right now. I have to deal with Ann Wagner and these wonderful people in this part of Missouri who simply have not had a representative that even thinks about them for years.
How's the campaign going?
Really well. We've raised over $1.2 million. We've gotten endorsements from nearly all the labor unions who actually sat out the last 2 cycles, but now they've come in strong. AFL-CIO, Teamsters, laborers, you name it, they've all come in. We've got endorsed by most elected officials. Today, we just added a 10th member of Congress. Ro Khan has endorsed us. Overall, we've got all the right pieces in place. I'm sure you heard we got the St. Louis Post-Dispatch's endorsement. Apparently, their last political endorsement.
They're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I know. So we got that, and I'm very.
Is that
proud
from
of
Dave
that.
Hoffman or is that from the Post-Dispatch or where's that coming from?
I'm not going to speculate. I'm very glad that I got it.
All right.
I'm very proud of what we built, but it's really not about the outsiders. It's really about the conversations we're having in the district, and I've been so fortunate to have so many great conversations because I'm a little bit of I like to be moving all the time, and I've been out and about, and I think people are hungry, so hungry for change. So I wanted to build a professional campaign to win. And I joke a lot that you're not going to beat a 13-year incumbent with $4 million in the bank or win the World Series or win the World Series with an amateur team, right? So we've built a very professional team from day one. We've gone very professional, focused on winning this race against a longtime incumbent.
Within that same vein, it's an uphill battle.
Very much.
With that same vein, it's some would call it a suicide mission.
I disagree.
Explain that. Why should they vote for you? And there are some people who think, I vote for him, I'm throwing away my vote. Why should they vote for you? Why do you have a chance to beat Ann
We
Wagner?
actually have a poll that shows. We did a poll in the generic, like who'd you vote for today? Right now, we're a dead heat. It's Ann 44, me 41. When they find out my bio of a lifetime of actual service to our country, when they find out the hard things that happen, losing my wife and child, losing my business, those lessons I've learned from those, when they hear that, the vote flips 48 to 41. So the people right now in this country are frustrated that they have no control over their government, that the government is not interested in their needs, certainly not the needs of working class people or just working people who get a paycheck. The fact is the top 20% are doing great. The rest of our economy is collapsing. When top 20% make up 58% of all consumer spending, we have a problem, right? And so I think there's enough people who recognize that change is needed, that Ann Wagner does not represent change. Ann Wagner has done very, very well for herself, but not us. So my job is to go out, be present, make the case that I'm just a kid from Kirkwood. My favorite compliment I ever got in this whole campaign was a longtime supporter said, I like you because you're just a guy. You know what I mean? And I love that I'm known, people see me as just a guy, kid from Kirkwood, who's had some extraordinary experiences in the military and otherwise, who's now running to represent you. And I will never forget. And the final thing I'll say, though, is I talked to a Republican at a meeting, a barbecue for veterans. And I said, we both agree that Ann Wagner has to go. He goes, yes. I said, so here's the deal. You go in that booth, you vote for Fred Wellman. And if I suck at the job, you can fire me in 2 years, right? I mean, it's the worst job in America. I have to reapply every 2 years.
Yes.
And I'm comfortable with that because my job is to go to Washington, D.C., get stuff done fast. And if I don't, I deserve to be fired.
What do you tell them, the farmers?
I go out there, I listen. It's amazing to me how often the conversation I have with labor, with rural folks, with everybody is just be present and listen to their needs and recognize they have challenges that are unique. They don't have health care available to them. They have to go miles to get health care. They don't want a handout from the government. They actually just want their markets open again. When USAID was trashed, they know what that meant. That means the soybean market collapsed. Consistently, what I'm hearing from rural folks is almost the same thing I'm hearing everywhere else. Fred, what about my kids? What about bad schools? Schools that are 4 days. What about I can't get healthcare right now? The number one job in our district is healthcare as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a double tap, if you will, of destruction. When they cut Medicaid, they cut Medicare. We're losing healthcare, but we're also losing jobs. I hear over and over, people just want to be heard by somebody for once. It's a joke that she's absent but it's not. She is truly absent.
What did you do between your military service and now? What was your day job?
I retired the Pentagon in 2010, had a job for about a year. Then I decided to start my own firm called Scout Comms. It was an advocacy firm. It was a for-profit company that focused on veterans issues. We did that for 10 years. I was a veterans advocate. I did some really cool stuff, worked with Wind Warrior Project, major corporations like Home Depot, homeless veterans issues. And then did well, won a bunch of awards for 10 years, and then when the COVID pandemic hit, I said I went to New York and ran out. I was the chief of staff of a COVID hospital, came back, company was struggling we were mostly nonprofit clients. I closed the firm and then I joined a thing called the Lincoln Project, which you may have heard of. I ended up being the guy in charge of their veterans outreach. So my job was to convince my fellow veterans that they should vote for somebody other than Donald Trump the second time. I ran that organization when they had a huge crisis. I managed that crisis, then I left afterwards. I moved home in 2021, helped the Afghan evac. If International Institute was getting slammed with donations, I actually organized people from Scott Air Force Base to organize that. That's kind of my thing. And then I've been helping others run for office. I helped people run for Congress. I helped local people like Joe Peerless run for the Senate. And I have a podcast. I'm a professional podcaster.
What's your podcast?
On Democracy with F.P. Wellman on the Midas Touch Network every Friday night at 6 p.m. here local. They run it live. And it's a conversation about our democracy and the threats to it. This week we had a guy on talk about the healthcare crisis and how when the Democrats take the House, we have to do big things fast. We have to get the ACA subsidies back in. We have to get the Medicare age lowered. So it's a really great ongoing conversation about the threats to our democracy.
Fred Wellman, last question for you, and this was this is the toughest one. You might think it's softball, but it's actually been very hard for politicians to fulfill, and that is this: when you win, if you win, when we call you up, will you come back on the show?
You can text me directly. I'll come over and say hi. You know, I always say, people ask me all the time.
One of the few.
Yeah. Oh no, that's my thing. You know, I'll tell you right quick. People say to me all the time, like, will you do a town halls? Because Ann doesn't do town halls. I'm like, town halls are the minimum. You're going to see me on radio. You're going to see me on TV. You're going to see me on podcast. You're going to see me at the freaking grocery store. Because again, I'm just a dude who lives here. So yeah, text me, call me. I'll drive right down here. I just live about 20 minutes away.
Fred Wellman, what's the website for people to find out more?
Wellman4mo.com. That's Wellman, FORMO.com. We'd love to have your support. We're in the last week before the primary, and then it's on deal at General.
Safe travels on the campaign trail.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You got it. 925 here, Big 550, KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, take it away. St. Louis Positive Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, the congestion on 270 west from the Canal Bridge, just west of Illinois Route 3 to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, has eased. And all westbound 64 and northbound 61 lanes at the 70-64 interchange will be closed overnight from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. tonight through Thursday for bridge work. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Jill Farmer here with Dan Head, owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms. Dan, why go on vacation these days when your favorite destination could be right in your own backyard?
Thanks, Jill. We can transform your deck or patio into the perfect place to relax and make memories with the Patriot Sunroom. A screen room, patio cover, power shades, outdoor kitchen, and much more. Now is the perfect time to invest in comfort, beauty, and lasting value. Enjoy more light, more nature, more life in a Patriot Sunroom.
Call 314-822-3232 for your free design consultation. Online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
Heidi Glaus, Josh Gilbert, and Bob Ramsey.
On a Monday Heidi show, have you ever wondered what the Anne Frank attic looked like inside? A new museum exhibit walks you through the whole thing. Very fascinating. We'll talk to the head of the museum putting on the exhibit. Plus, Ryan Kroll from St. Louis Magazine brings you the latest news out of St. Louis. It's a Monday Heidi show. Heidi, Bob, Josh, join us at 3.
Heidi Glaus, Josh Gilbert, and Bob Ramsey. Weekday afternoons at 3 on the Big 550.
Always current and always on.
KTRS. Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, Fred will be good for Mo. Fred will be good for Mo. 618, glad you had Fred on. I was undecided, not anymore. 636, I'm getting ready to no excuse vote, and Fred convinced me to vote for him. Fred, you're doing your guest, Fred, is doing more than Ann Wagner has done by being on your show. Hey, McGraw, I'm 67 years old. I'm a black man trying not to be funny, but why are white people so afraid of everything? They're afraid people will come in and take their TVs and jump on the Metrolink or something. They never want to vote for anything in Missouri. I live in Illinois, and we get taxed to death, but at least we're not afraid. All right, there you go. The vote yes on 5 people trying to convince voters that switching from income tax to sales tax is a good idea. The working poor and retired people will pay more of their income if Amendment 5 passes. Can you explain YouTube TV a little more? I'm interested in, but not a huge cable bill. Yeah, YouTube TV is a competitor to Charter or Spectrum. It's just another way to watch TV. DirecTV. You get the locals. Dish. You get the local channels. It used to be a much better deal. It was a loss leader. They started off, they got me because they were charging me like $30 and my cable bill was $150. But now it's sort of eked up there and it's, I don't know what it is, $70, $60, $70. But then I've got I got Apple TV and then I got HBO and then I got Hulu and I got Disney. And so
Netflix.
Yeah. So it's not as good of a deal as it used to be. I mean, I like it just because they're all streaming. Everyone's got a streaming app, so you don't need to be, quote unquote, wired anymore. So, I mean, they're all competitive in their own way. Spectrum's got a streaming service. YouTube, DirecTV is now, you don't need a satellite on your house anymore. It's all streaming. I don't know if AT&T, do they still have Uverse, or there's still like boxes out there?
I do not.
The cable box? I don't know. But the YouTube TV is great because, you can watch it on your phone or you can watch it on your laptop or whatever else. If you're, out and about or whatever, and you want to go check out something, you could watch it. Not that I do a lot of watching TV on my phone, but you get the idea. All right. Let's talk Reese Nichols. Reese Nichols, 45 years in the business. Reese Nichols is 45 years here in St. Louis. Tooling around town yesterday, saw a number of Reese Nichols signs out there. When you see a Reese Nichols sign, you know what that means? That means expertise. But you haven't seen them around. It's a new company. No, it's not a new company. Reese Nichols is an old company, just with a new name. All the same great agents, all the same great expertise. Reese Nichols was the name of the company in Kansas City, and it was a different name here in Missouri. Why that was, I have no idea. But they decided, somebody smart got together and said, look, let's just make it one name across the state. And so all the agents are the same. Nothing changed except the logo and the letterhead. That's it. All the same great agents, expertise, buying and selling a home. Very difficult today. Interest rates are all over the place. Not a lot of inventory. Too many buyers. You want to make sure the house looks right. You want to make sure you're buying right. Lots of things to get to. That's why Reese Nichols is your go-to. 314. Better yet, just go to the website, reesenichols.com. Big supporters of the Ronald McDonald House. Big supporters of local charities. Of course, because they've been around St. Louis for all these many years. Reese Nichols or reesenichols.com.
Did you know Florissant is 240 years old this year? Come out and celebrate 240 years of Florissant at the historic Old St. Ferdinand Shrine. Join the City of Florissant and Old Town Partners for an evening of community and fun. Festivities begin at 5:30 with the unveiling of a 240th anniversary plaque, followed by live music from North Wind's Band at 6 and a family-friendly movie beginning at 7:30. Food and drinks will be available from Knights of Columbus 2951, sponsored by CNB St. Louis Bank and Helfers. Come celebrate Florissant's past, present, and future. We'll see you at the Old St. Ferdinand Shrine.
That's Wednesday, July 29th. Join in the celebration. Every summer, homeowners make plans. A new grill, a backyard project, a family vacation. But what about the upgrades you'll enjoy every single day? If your windows are drafty, difficult to open, or your entry and patio door has seen better days, now is the perfect time to make a change. Renewal by Andersen makes replacing windows and doors simple with beautifully crafted products, professional installation, and a customer experience that's second to none. And right now, you'll save big. Get $1,000 off your patio or entry door purchase and take $400 off each replacement window. All you have to do is call 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Again, that's 877-WINDOWS or visit renewalbyanderson.com. Renewal by Andersen. Superior products, exceptional service.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the control option mindset featuring the lifetime and generational income maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Now back to McGraw, presented by Londoff Chevrolet, the Londoff Autoplex, and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm going to blow your mind right here. Lisa Loeb.
Very close. I'm proud of you that you were close. Juliana Hatfield.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not close.
The album is from Reality Bites.
Yes.
Yes, which was a great album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crank that up a little bit. Yeah, that was a great album. Again, singer-songwriter. She's got a guitar and her song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man with simple pleasures. All right, 9:38 here, Big 550 KTRS. How about the ad running for Wesley Bell where they highlight how many votes Cori Bush missed? They keep calling her name and no one answers.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like Ferris Bueller.
Oh, yeah, Cori
Bush.
Anyone?
Cori Bush.
Yeah. I look forward to the primary season every 2 years so that we can see what Ann Wagner looks and sounds like. That's harsh. 314, bring back the talking donkey. 314, you're so right, McGraw. The Wesley Bell ad is extremely effective. The ad shows that she's simply out for herself. She doesn't like Trump. She doesn't like the Democrats. She's out for herself. Let's see here. What else is going on? Let's go to the phone. Bob. Bob, good morning. Bob spelled backwards is Bob on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
How are you?
Good. So, I've been a tax preparer for 43 years, and this Amendment 5 is amazingly deceptive. The ads. I know there's truth in advertising, but obviously there's no truth in political ads. You can pretty much, I guess, say whatever you want to. And it's a scam because when I do taxes, there's a lot of people who I will say, I don't even need to do your taxes. You get Social Security and a small pension. Your Social Security is not taxable in Missouri. You don't even need to file taxes. Or you don't owe very much. So to say that they're going to save $3,000 by not having to pay income tax is a lie, because a lot of people don't even need to pay any Missouri tax.
Well, hold on a second. Now you only got 30 seconds. So to say no, not you, the commercial.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah, no. So when the commercial says you won't have to pay income tax, there's something implied that if you pay income tax, you'll be the one who's not paying income tax. They can't say, Steve, you won't pay income tax, but Sally, you don't pay income tax now, so don't worry about this. Joan, they can't go one-on-one, so they just got to, Amendment 5 will do away with the income tax.
And okay. So if I'm not paying any income tax, I don't need to listen to the ad.
Well, they can't. Again, you're assuming that there's some level of intelligence in the voter to say, I'm not paying income tax. How does this affect me?
Well, to me, they're lying by omission. They're not giving all the facts, and they're not telling us what the rate is going to be. They're not even telling us what they're going to charge the sales tax on. This is just a terrible amendment that's going to save some people money if you make a lot of money. But I'm going to be paying sales tax whether I make $200,000 a year or $10,000 a year. And so that's going to hit me if I'm a lower income person really hard. And what are they going to charge the sales tax on? They're not telling us that.
No, that's true. It is going to be the largest tax cut in Missouri history. It's $9 billion that's going to be cut. And so it'll come back to our pockets so we can spend it any way we want.
Well, I used to argue on Facebook with a guy by the name of Bill Eigel, and he used to be all about, the people know how to spend their money better than the state. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't build a road. I can't build a bridge. We need all of us to put in whatever it takes. And Missouri is just a mess when it comes to taxes and services. I mean, we do not have the best roads in the country. We do not have the best bridges. We do not have the best schools. And yet, how do we do that? Well, it takes money to do it. And how do you get that money? Taxes.
Bob, I don't mean to blow your brains out here. Are you sitting down?
I am. I'm in a chair at the tax office.
Okay. All right. Good. Hold on to your quill pen here when I tell you this. But Bill Eigel, the one you were arguing with,
yeah,
he's against Amendment 5 too.
Is he really?
Yeah. The other day,
well, how about that?
The other day, he was in a town hall meeting or a debate with Steve Ellman, the St. Louis County executive, Bill Eigel, and Jason Law. And Mark Maxwell asked, raise your hand if you're voting for Amendment 5, and none of them raised their hand. Bill Eigel, Mr. Anti-Tax guy, apparently likes the income tax.
Apparently so. Good point. Hey, I like the text you got that said that he likes the primaries because then he gets to see Ann Wagner twice a year or twice every. once every 2 years.
Bob, get back to work. Thanks for checking in.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You got it. 3 and 4. The flame-throwing Bill Eigel is a joke. MAGA. He got in trouble. He's MAGA, but he got in trouble with Trump. He was raising money off Donald Trump's name, and he got his hand slapped. Here's another one. Now I know you're an idiot. If I don't pay $9 billion in income tax, I'm going to pay for it somewhere else. All right. Hey, McGraw, I assume you're an idiot. According to you, that's okay. I don't know what that means.
You are spelled wrong.
Another recycled Republican with financial issues running as a Democrat. VoteJoan.com. I still have AT&T Uverse. AT&T still supports it. It just doesn't sell any new contracts. Oh, okay. Good to you. I have Uverse. Good to know. All right. 314 thinks I'm an idiot. Is that the same guy who thinks I'm an idiot?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought 2 people thought I was an idiot. Just the one. That's all. Thank you for the phone call. No, look, I think they're going to do, if Amendment 5 passes, it's a $9 billion tax cut. It's right? Because they collect $9 billion in income taxes. That's going to go away. So it's a $9 billion tax cut. So Missourians will receive $9 billion more than we received the year before, roughly. Now, again, the taxes will go up somewhere. Who knows where? But, I mean, you'll have more money in your pocket to spend. But just like every tax cut, money either comes from every tax cut. The money either comes from somewhere else or the services get cut, just like every other tax cut in the known universe. And the state can't deficit spend like the federal government can. So all these people are against the tax cut. Why do they keep voting in Republicans if they're all against tax cuts? Well, anyway, I don't want to get into it. 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. Dense Express, DenseExpressSTL.com is where you want to go to get your car fixed. It's as simple as that. 2 locations, Manchester in Baldwin, and then on 94 in St. Charles, right across the street from Boeing. 2 locations, 1 great family. Make an appointment, then bring your car in. That's all you need to do. Make an appointment. They'll handle all the rest. They specialize at Dense Express with paintless dent removal, hail damage, as well as minor collision. You and I would call it major. They call it minor. You wouldn't believe the things they can do. You get your car back and, dare I say, 86 gloss units. That's a showroom shine for those of you who don't remember the amazing Discoveries infomercial at 3 o'clock in the morning. DenseExpressSTL.com. All you do is make an appointment. They'll fix your car, look as good as new. They've been doing this for 30 plus years. Family run, family operated. DenseExpressSTL.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. We didn't get the nickname the St. Louis Corvette Kings by accident. We've specialized in Corvettes for over 30 years, and I need more. You have one for sale? Especially C6, C7, and Classic Corvettes. I'm an immediate buyer for very clean, low-mile examples. Hop on our site, MasterCarsInc.com, or give us a call to submit what you have. We'll even come to you if we have to. Owe money on it? Don't worry. We'll make the payoff and pay your equity right on the spot. This has been a fantastic Corvette summer, and I want to keep it rolling.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Congress doesn't need more politicians. For nearly 30 years, Joan Von Dross dedicated her life to helping students learn, grow, and succeed. Now she's running for Congress to fight for lower healthcare costs, stronger public schools, and a more affordable future for Missouri families. Teachers solve problems. Politicians play politics.
I'm Joan Von Dross, Democrat from Missouri CD2, and I approve this message. Vote for me on August 4th.
Paid for by Von Dross for Congress.
Hi, I'm Robert Williams, owner of Auto Art on the Hill. If you own a classic car, Auto Art is your one-stop shop for repair, restoration, and maintenance. For over 35 years, we've helped car enthusiasts and collectors keep their vehicles looking great and running their best so they can drive them. We're also proud to be the home of the award-winning Throttle Squad Car Club. Our reputation as experts in classic car restoration has attracted car collectors from around the country. We work on full and partial restorations within your budget for any project, no matter how big or small. Restoration, collision care, and 50s Flare. Auto Art at 5305 Northrop Avenue on the Hill. Online at autoartstl.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Now back to McGraw, presented by London Chevrolet, the London Autoplex, and London.com on the Big 550.
Real quick, let me tell you about Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, Carolyn Stolzer, and Matthew Furr. That's the well-respected team of BeckElderLaw.com. They've been around 50-plus years. Either side of the river, your finances, right? Everyone's talking about our finances and our assets. Look, here's the deal. You do not want to be taxed to the poorhouse, and you don't want your inheritance or anything, your money to go into probate. You don't want it to be tied up in court. You want it to be done with exactly as you wish. That's why you need to make sure you are buttoned up when it comes to elder planning, and that's where Rudy Beck comes in and the whole gang over there. They've been doing this a long time, well-respected within the industry, well-respected with other attorneys, well-respected with the courts. Look, they're a godsend. An absolute angel from heaven landed Rudy Beck in my world and was able to solve all of our problems. Then I sat down and figured out what to do with Emerson and everything else. So now, God forbid, if I ever get hit by a bus, all right, I don't have to worry about it. She's taken care of. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, Carolyn Stolzer, Matthew Furr. That's your go-to for all of your questions when it comes to elder law, elder care, assets, investments, all those things when it comes to, Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, Carolyn Stolzer, or BeckElderLaw.com. Danny, you're on the Big 550 KTRS. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. We hope you don't get hit by a bus.
Me too.
You know, the 10 worst states to live in as far as happiness are all red states. Tennessee at number 1, Missouri at number 7. As far as this being a Christian nation, I wish you would stop saying that. This is not a Christian nation. Some people may want it to be a Christian nation, but it is not a Christian nation. Our forefathers were absolutely against organized religion.
I think when I say that, I don't know if I said it today, but I don't know how often I say it, but I usually say, when I say that, I usually say a Judeo-Christian nation because our laws were based on the Judeo-Christian sort of ethics.
Well, and God We Trust didn't come on our money until 1956. So, yeah. That's all I got, my friend.
All right, Denny. Denny, I hope you don't get hit by a bus either. How about that?
Well, I got the next 3 days off. It'll have to come into a pool if it is.
Yeah, stay cool, Denny. Vincent, line 2. Brother. You got it. Vincent, line 2. Thanks for joining us on KTRS.
Thank you for letting me speak. Listen, the danger of Amendment 5 is not the tax switch, which is bait and switch, but it's that you're going to lose your vote for any further tax increase. You're giving up your right to vote, and nobody seems to talk about that. All they concentrate on is really the big bait and switch taxes, but losing your right to vote on any future taxes, never give up your right to vote. I don't care what party you're from or MAGA hat or socialist, never give up your right to vote. Thank you for letting me talk.
You got it. Vincent, thanks for the phone call. Yeah, to bring back the income tax would have to then go back to a vote of the people. I think that's what he's referring to. And I think the Hancock Amendment is such that if they can't add more taxes than they're already taking in. So in other words, if the income tax goes away and it takes in $9 billion, they can't add anything more than $9 billion in some other taxes because of the Hancock caps. But here's the other thing. I mean, seriously, do you really think that this legislature and these people we send to Jefferson City, do you really think that they would do away with the income tax and then add a whole bunch of other taxes? I think they would just sort of cut services, I would think. So in that sense, right, I don't see them being big taxers. Take the sales tax and add, 3, 4, 5% to a sales tax. I don't really see that happening. Maybe they might, put a huge use tax on yacht makers or something, which then they'll just move out of the state. But I just don't see them adding a whole lot of revenue to the cut side, right? They have the cut side, but I don't know if they would actually do a lot of taxes, if any. I think they would rather do away with the services in some way, shape, or form. Ken, line 3. Ken, you're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Yes, good morning. Hey, I think businesses would be for this sales tax because any business that collects the sales tax from the state gets to keep 2% of that. So if sales tax raised, they'll collect more money and they will get more money for that.
Yeah, from all the indications, it seems like there's, again, anecdotally, there seems to be a number of business organizations that are against Amendment 5.
Well, let's hope it doesn't pass.
All right, Ken, you're voting no on Amendment 5?
Yeah, in about 10 more minutes.
Oh, all right. No excuse absentee balloting. All right, Ken, go and do your patriotic duty. Thanks for checking in.
All right, bye.
Country Club Car Wash. Vincent is correct. Amendment 5 does not allow the citizenry of Missouri to have any say any longer in the increase of our sales taxes. Bull, McGraw, they will add taxes to the little people. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm saying I just don't see them doing that in any large way, shape, or form. That's all. These people have tripped over themselves trying to tell us how anti-tax they are. I find it difficult that they would then start adding taxes. But that's just me. You don't have to yell at me. That's just my humble opinion. We're all about opinions here. Let's see here. The stat about Missouri being one of the worst states to live in, according to Happiness, was a stat regarding the SEC conference. It was one of those social network blurbs that was basically commenting on how well states perform in the SEC conference. I take every single one of those best, worst rankings with a giant grain of salt. They're all clickbaits. They're all ridiculous. What did I see one the other day? It got me. What's one of the worst cities people moved to? They did a survey of people after they moved. And I was like, all right, let's see. But it was all bogus. All that's bogus. I'm surprised Fred is against Amendment 5 because he doesn't pay his income taxes, as evidenced by multiple IRS liens not associated with his 2 bankruptcies. Oh. Okay. It's not a tax cut for most people. If you're wealthy, you get one. Tax, you won't get a tax cut. If you pay an income tax, you'll get a tax cut. But the income tax generates $9 billion a year. So Missourians will have $9 billion more money in their pocket after this, if it passes. That was the point. I didn't say everybody would have $9 billion. All right. We're done. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with me. Jill and Frank Opinion coming your way next. We'll see you tomorrow. Cusimano.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
St. Louis County Library is teaming up with the Magic House, St. Louis Children's Museum, to bring